next best plan or having rate increases that are driving me crazy. It's criminal what's happening out there with the lack of information. Most people should be on plans that cost somewhere between $0 per month and maybe $50, $60, $70 per month. There's going to be folks who buy regular garden variety Medicare supplements from the big names we've all heard of. But what they should be doing is calling my team and saying, hey, listen, sit down with me for a half an hour, 45 minutes, and teach me how to do this properly.
Call Principium and Chris Alberta.
888-800-8949 or go to retirelikefrank.com right away.
Recently, WJR filmed a very informative webinar with me and my
Good morning,
friends
Facebook
at Senior
fans.
Health Medicare. Guy Gordon here, and now is the time to learn and
Good morning,
save
Don.
when it comes to your Medicare needs. This webinar is a WJR must-see. All you need to do is visit mymedicareuniversity.com. As you view the webinar, you can live chat throughout in real time with an advisor from
We
Senior
missed
Health
you on
Medicare.
Monday, Dana.
So visit
Did you really?
Yeah.
I was happy in my bed. I was thinking, oh, this is my last day off. For the moment, anyway. Like musical chairs from here on out, huh?
Oh, I know. Yeah. For me too. A lot of filling in at a lot of different shows.
Yeah. Yep. Is Brian there today or is it Danielle?
It's Brian.
Okay.
What I do.
What'd you say?
Yeah, Dana
said,
asked
"What
if
did I
it was
do?"
if it was Brian or Danielle today. Says
I'm Dick
Brian.
Hafner, WJR News. And now, here's Kevin Dietz.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 2nd.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Thanks for stopping by the Paul W. Smith Show, where Detroit comes to talk. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube this morning. We appreciate you stopping by to spend some time with us this morning. Well, what do you think, Detroit? Was the snowstorm a hit or a miss for weather forecasters? I was here in 2 to 4 inches. I don't think I got 2 inches here, and I definitely didn't get 4. But what we did get was really icy in the morning, pretty nasty stuff for anyone who was out there driving around. So I'm pretty good with the first snow hype of the season. The roundtable is here. Let's see what they think. Good morning, Dick Hafner. How are you today?
Good morning, Kevin. I'm just peachy. I couldn't be better. 100%.
Fantastic. I love that. What was your take on the snowcast, the first warning of the year?
Well, I was wrong. I thought we were going to get socked. It was coming in from the southwest where so many big winter storms come in, and the kingpin was right on top of it. Dave Rieger warned us, no, this is just overblown hype, and don't bet against Rieger. Don't bet against the kingpin.
I believe you had predicted we were going to get walloped, Dick, and I said, no, not so fast. Dave Rieger is in for Ann. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
You are now the official snow predictor of WJR Morning Crew. You'll have to call in every morning that there's a snow predicted and give your predictions.
It's usually overhyped. You don't usually get as much as they say you're going to get. So I knew it was not going to be that bad, and it wasn't.
And Dana Clark is back. Good morning, Dana.
Good morning. It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Now, is
day.
Is it Monday for you or is it hump day for you? Does it still
I
work
worked
that
yesterday,
way?
so it's hump day.
All right.
Yeah.
It is hump day. It is
It
officially
is hump day. But I didn't think much about the snow, Kevin. For once, I didn't care.
Is that because
I was in the house, because I didn't have to go and drive to the Fisher Building. So I didn't watch the news. I've been actually taking a break from watching the news. So I didn't see any of those projections. So I just thought it was going to be, flurries like it was all day.
Yeah, we had gotten that hype coming a couple days early that look out by Tuesday morning it was going to be, maybe 4 inches and really, really bad. It was pretty cold and the roads were a little icy and nasty, but I think we dodged the first big snow scare of the year.
Dana, isn't it nice not to care?
Oh, it's so nice, Dick. It's so nice.
Dick's counting down to not carry.
Yeah, right. He's got his little.
I'm coming
day.
down to those times when every day is Saturday.
That's right. That's okay.
That's great. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more. Let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Traffic First also sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Already much better than this time yesterday. Earlier incident, 94 westbound at Connor is clear. Disabled vehicle in St. Clair County. This must be the same one from yesterday. 94 westbound after Division Road. That disabled vehicle is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. Shop Karastan's luxury vinyl floors exclusively at Reamer Floors. Luxury vinyl floors by Karastan are better than nature intended. Shop from home at reamerfloors.com or shop in store by appointment. Reamer Floors on Telegraph in Broomfield Hills.
Enjoy the sunshine now, and sunshine's in the forecast as we head through the day. Clear sky to start, cold, sunshine 44 later on a west breeze. Tonight, some clouds 28, suburbs colder. Tomorrow, a few clouds around low 40s. Friday, clouds and sunshine with highs again low 40s. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
It's 5:44 on this Wednesday, December 2nd. Let's check in with Rush Limbaugh.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that last month alone, there were 235 cases of salmonella linked to families who raise chickens in their backyards. So far this year, there have been over 1,000 cases reported in 49 states. And in Ohio, something's happening there. They've reported the most cases, 73. Now, as I'm sure you know, contracting salmonella is not a walk in the park. Within 12 to 72 hours, people come down with stomach cramps, fever, diarrhea, and it can usually last 4 to 7 days. It's not fun. So the CDC has a stern warning. Those of you who raise chickens in your backyards, pay extra special attention because this could save you a lot of heartache and stomach aches. The CDC says that you people should not kiss your chickens. That's right. Stop kissing the chickens. Stop kissing the chicks. And to those of you who like to fondle your chickens, cuddle with your chickens, all that touchy-feely activity you may do with your chicken, wash your hands after you're through touching your chickens. In other words, don't play chicken with your chickens. Protect yourself. And for the rest of you who don't kiss chicks or chickens, if you're ever tempted, maybe now you'll know better not to try it. Who does this in the first place? I never heard of this.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR.
My friends, a blessed Merry
Christmas to you all. My friends at Mahindra want to make your holidays even merrier with the great red tag savings. That means you can save.
I just realized that all three of you guys didn't have to worry about any of the snow because you're all working from home. I'm the only one who's driving in here.
Oh.
And Brian too. And Brian too.
It was pretty bad for you guys, wasn't it?
No,
a lot
actually,
of accidents. Oh, it was good.
I don't know. I wasn't here yesterday. So Brian, was it bad driving yesterday? Brian says it was bad yesterday.
It was. I had 2 daughters and a wife all looking at me with their car keys saying, "Hey, I need gas." I'm like, Today I need gas. 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. It's it's ridiculous. The roads were icy, but if it's only a short little ride, and it can be fun on the ice. But if you're trying to get to work and you're worried about being on time, it could be pretty dicey.
Your tree looks nice, Kevin.
Oh yeah, we the minute the Thanksgiving dinner came off the table,
it was
out
with the Christmas stuff. It's nice.
It literally it's a challenge keeping it from coming up before Halloween. It's like we're early Christmas people, and then boom, down on January, whatever the first Monday after Christmas, it's gone.
Visit save.org. That's SAV.
Yeah, it felt like Christmas yesterday, when it was snowing the past 2 days. So
it was pretty, actually.
What business disruption from COVID-19 has done to the bottom line, and you can't afford to have it happen again because of lack of cleanliness.
Well, I had read that as far as the snow was concerned, it was going to be a very mild winter, at least for Michigan and for the Midwest. I had read that the upper part of the United States on the West Coast was going to get hit hard, but it's going to be it was supposed to be a mild winter for Michigan, which is
that would be great.
Which I like a lot. Yeah.
That would be great.
There's snows. I know for the people who like to ski and sled, and snow's great, but yeah, I have no use for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were asking about the Lucy and Linus music, which was great yesterday. I loved listening to that when I tuned in for a little bit yesterday, and so they bumped. It's copyrighted music, so they bump you off Facebook. We can play the music, and then we'll be bumped off Facebook. Or maybe we can sing the music. Dave, you want to carry us?
Right.
Yeah.
But,
nobody wants to hear that.
No, nobody wants to hear that.
I don't know what we're going to do when we may not be using it today, but Paul will use it and just be off Facebook probably.
Right. If we want to get bumped,
I don't want to get bumped because I don't have the technology to
break
figure
that
it
out.
Right.
Good morning, Sharon Galvin Stokes. You're up
So
early.
what happened with the governor made an announcement yesterday? What was the verdict?
It's too early to tell if December 8th will be the last day.
Okay.
Sort of indicating that it will not be. It sounded like Christmas is going to look like Thanksgiving, probably.
Okay.
But she didn't say either way. She said we need $100 million from the state legislature. Can't wait for the feds to get their act together. So it was mask up, and even though the numbers are going down a little bit, that we don't have any data in from Thanksgiving yet. And when that data comes in, they're worried we'll be sky high again.
So restaurants still closed for dine-in. Everything's the same.
Yeah, the original 3 weeks isn't up till December 8th anyway.
Okay.
So it's the second today, so another week.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Hey, the roundtable is with us. Dick Hafner, Dana Clark, and Dave Rieger. Guys, I'm wondering, I wanted to stay up and watch Michigan State play Duke last night. We had Coach Izzo on earlier in the week, and they had just beaten Notre Dame, and Duke was ranked like number 8 in the country, and I think Michigan State was ranked 12. And I wanted to stay up, and there was no way I could stay up and get up in the morning. And I was just wondering, how do you guys stay up if something special or important is happening when you have to get up so early in the morning? Michigan State, by the way, beat Duke, so I missed a good one. They won 75-69. Their first win ever down there, I believe. Dick, is that what you were reporting earlier?
Well, it was one of their few anyway. I don't know if it's the first one, but Izzo, who wins most of his games, has not had much luck against Duke or North Carolina. When he ventures into North Carolina, that's usually bad territory, but not last night.
It was Izzo's first win against Coach K in the regular season. He was 0-9 going into that game.
Wow.
And but he's almost caught up to him in the NCAA tournament. He's on there. Duke's got like a 3-2 lead over Michigan State in the NCAA tournament now. So maybe the tide's turning a little bit for Michigan State and for Coach Izzo.
They have a lot.
I still don't think he can. He can't seem to win against North Carolina. Roy Williams, and then the coaches before that, Dean Smith. They just had Izzo's number for years.
Well, it's early. They're 3-0.
No, I know we're getting into the sports weeds now.
My question was, how do you guys stay awake when there's something going on? So I was on my phone. Pay attention to my question.
I'm putting you to sleep just with this.
Right. I had my phone, and I'm like looking at Twitter, catching the score as it's going, and trying to sleep, and then I'm like up, and then I can't sleep because I'm thinking about the game or thinking about getting up early again. Do you guys just turn everything off and go to bed? Dana, how do you work through that?
It's hard because especially if it's something that you want to see like that, 11:30 is my limit. Like I'll push it till 11:30. After that, I have to turn it off and wait until the morning to find out what happened. So 11:30 is my cutoff.
Late. That's not a lot of beauty sleep hours.
Nope, not a lot at all.
Now I know you're on the air at 5:30. Do you get up at 5:25 or do you get up at 4:25?
5:15.
That's how
from working
was
from
created.
home. It's 5:15. We used to have to go in and be there at 5, and Dick used to get there even earlier than me. And there were some days I'm sure Dick didn't know if I was going to show up. Literally,
I knew you were going to be there. You were always there.
I always said, Dick, if I don't call, I'll be here. If I call, then it's a situation. So I've been able to push it a little bit more, staying at home, staying up late. So 11:30 now for me.
All right. And Dave, your shifts would jump all over the place. How do you ever get your sleep, Dave?
No problem. I power through every time. I'm going to run into the problem Sunday night. This Sunday night, my team plays Sunday night football. So that game will go probably 11:30, 11:45. So whatever time I have to be here on Monday, I'll be here on Monday. And you just got to power through.
Get a nap later.
Or you're just so tired all the time that you can sleep anytime, anywhere. Just
right.
Boom.
I actually don't need much sleep. I never have needed much sleep. I'm good. I'm good on 4 or 5 hours, and I'm ready to go. So,
Dick, once you pull the plug here on retirement, are you going to just go to sleep for like 6 months? Like you're going to hibernate like a bear?
I'm probably going to have to catch up a little bit because I've been doing this shift for quite a number of years. But my habit is a hard 90-minute, even a 2-hour nap late in the day. And that gets me ready, especially for any late night viewing or news business, because that happens sometimes, that I may encounter. And that's what's been keeping me alive all this time. Last night I did catch bits and glimpses of the game, but I usually don't get into the college basketball world until conference play starts.
Yeah. The games can go awful late, and if you're a sports fan, you also get the West Coast games, and they can drive you crazy if you try and pay too close attention to them. Sometimes you just got to check out the highlights in the morning. I was just wondering some of these early morning shifts when they asked me to pop by, I'm like.
You're like, am I busy? Let me check the schedule.
I'm like, I'm going to have to go to bed at like 7 o'clock if I'm going to get up at 4.
Not to mention,
I have found you need a routine, or else physically this shift can wreck you.
Not to mention, there was a great game on after the Duke-Michigan State game with Kentucky and Kansas. So that game was great to watch too.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, it's a great game.
What time did you go to sleep, Dave?
When's the last time you slept, Dave?
I don't know what time I actually fell asleep was, but and then you've got a football game at 3:40 this afternoon.
Oh,
so
goodness!
Hopefully that doesn't go into Dick's nap time.
Well,
my nap time will not be interrupted. Don't call me.
You got Baltimore and Pittsburgh that was supposed to be Thanksgiving night that's playing today at 3:40 this afternoon. So
the COVID rescheduling.
Yeah.
Well, good thing
this
Brian
is why
Morton's
he's the kingpin.
Good thing Brian Morton's in the studio. If Dave Rieger falls asleep, he can come in and just push him, give him a little punch, and make sure he wakes up and gets back in the game. All right. Well, you're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We have much more coming up. We're going to take a quick break and check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Well, the roadways are looking much better than this time yesterday. We do have a new accident, though. Watch for those slippery spots that may still be out there. 696 eastbound at your 96 275 interchange. Accident is blocking that right lane. 94 westbound after Division Road. This is in St. Clair County. Disabled vehicle blocks the right shoulder. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. We do get a little bit of a warm up today. Lots of sunshine. Will it melt all the snow? We'll have to see. A high of 41 tonight. Few passing clouds, your low 28. We get a redo on Thursday, same temp, 41. Partly cloudy skies in the morning, then more clouds in the afternoon. On Friday, we hit 41 as well. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 3 minutes.
In Troy. At Pain Free Life Centers, we're dedicated to helping you live a better quality of life. We are the only laser pain center in Michigan that operates.
So I wonder if the snow will melt today. It may take a couple of days, but
It's supposed to be in the 40s, right?
yes, 41. I don't know if that's quite enough.
So what's the story with the NHL, Dana? What's Trevor saying?
He just got an email finally yesterday about the Pistons pre-games starting on December 11th. And the word is, of course, no travel, just reporter for home games. And I guess he's waiting to hear from hockey toward the end of December. But it's all fluid, like anything could, as you know, change or stop or whatever. So
I saw that the Golden State Warriors already had 2 positive COVID tests, so they had to stop their 3-day individual workouts and postpone them because now they're not.
So I guess they're not doing the bubble thing, huh?
No, apparently not.
I don't know how that's going to work out because I thought the NBA, when they had the games in the bubble, that was the smartest way to try to do it, to keep everyone contained. But I guess there's too many teams to recreate that, or I don't know. It's just
maybe with the vaccine coming out, they are assuming that the teams will be on the list to get the early
get that stuff first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
All the teams, like that is a lot of teams, a lot of people, and you need 2 doses, right? So that's double.
That's what I heard. Yeah. Plus, we don't know what the side effects might be either. So
true.
The people who take it say the minimal. It's like a 2-day hangover. It hits you
right. Yeah. Speaking of basketball, did you see Nate Robinson? Did you see that fight?
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh.
Did he wake up yet?
I know. You see the sleeper ads? People are ruthless.
Yeah. I actually ran into Nate Robertson one time in Denver when I was there, and he was playing for the Nuggets, and he's a pretty small guy, but he's a great athlete.
Okay.
But you walk into that boxing ring and you're not prepared, and he got hit like square, like knocked out. Like he did go to sleep. He got not. I mean, we were all waiting for Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
But he got lit up. It was that was scary. He was down.
It was. I'm like, is he okay? The next day that was pretty bad. But it's like, did he train? I mean, even if you train, it's still different when you get in there and you get hit.
I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you bought that pay-per-view, but it was so weird. They had like Snoop Dogg doing color commentary.
Was the best thing that was the highlight of the show.
That fight didn't start till like 1 a.m, right?
Hilarious.
So Tyson, according to the contract, they had to start, I think, at midnight. So that's when Buffer came out and did and did the announcement. But it was weird. There was no fans. The commentators were like in this like control room. It was almost like they were in like a studio, and the commentators were in the control room. It was Snoop Dogg. It was Sugar Ray Leonard. It was an MMA guy, and then was an announcer.
Dick, that's kind of what they're Dave. That's kind of what they did with golf with Tom Brady when Tom Brady was like playing with Tiger Woods or whatever it was, and they had like Charles Barkley or whoever be the
Yeah, that was
announcers,
funny
and
too. That was a funny
It's kind of
event as well.
mix, yeah, kind of switching things up a little.
Right.
It makes it fun.
But did they decide that was a draw before they fought? Because that clearly was not a draw.
It was decided.
Tyson was okay with it, so I'm like, they must have agreed to this before.
Yeah, they decided that it was going to be no winner. They decided that if somebody got knocked down, it was going to be over. They decided if anybody got cut, it was going to be over. But Tyson landed Kevin and I talked about it on Monday. Tyson landed like 3-1 punches.
Oh yeah, that was not a draw.
And Roy Jones was tired.
Well,
he was hanging on for dear life.
Yeah,
there weren't any judges, so
there weren't any judges, but there were people that gave scores at the end. There were people, and like Jim Gray was there. And
Did you see how much money they made? Did people watch it or not?
I haven't seen how they did as far as the at $50 a pop. I haven't seen, and it was on this weird stream.
Triller. What is Triller? What is that? I didn't know what that was, and then I looked it up.
Yeah.
Can you get that on your TV, or does that come on your phone or tablet, or do you go to smart TV?
Yeah, you could get it on your television. It's an app too. It's an app based thing.
Patrick reminding us that Tyson also said he was high when he was fighting. Or maybe he wasn't high, but he at least smoked.
Tyson looked good.
Tyson
looked great, actually. Right.
for Tyson's age, Tyson looked good. And here's the thing. You got to be crazy to go into a boxing room with Mike Tyson.
Exactly, because he's still Mike Tyson.
I mean,
because he bites people's ears off.
It's not even because of that. It's because I don't want to get hit with that uppercut.
Exactly. He's no joke.
Yeah, Tyson looked good.
He did look good. So. Dropping 100 pounds, that's not easy to do.
Dana, I didn't know you're such a boxing
I love
aficionado.
boxing. I love boxing.
That's awesome.
And I used to love Roy Jones.
He was great too.
Oh man, I was like, oh my gosh, we got to get the fight.
I was upset when he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver that day.
Yeah.
That was rough. But he was good for like a decade. So.
Yeah, I used to love Roy Jones Jr. That's what I used to call him, Jr.
And all those George Foremans.
Right. George and George. Yeah, I love boxing. There hasn't been much on lately, so definitely saw that one. And Snoop is like my favorite.
Snoop was good
artist. So the little concert was like the best.
It was. He did. He came out right before the Tyson fight. He was good.
He's just funny. He's hilarious.
Snoop's a big sports fan too. He's good. Sugar Ray
Leonard. It was like two uncles fighting at the barbecue. That was funny.
Snoop's funny. He shows up in a lot of places.
He'll
just show up. He'll do these cameos in these
He's
movies, and then he does these walk-ons like on local newscasts. It just like pops into these studios and chats with the weather folks or whatever.
The best is when he does stuff with Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I was going to say that show is hilarious.
He's great.
He's just he's so cool. He just seems like a really cool guy. So yeah, I was excited to see that fight and didn't have to worry about staying up late.
And Tyson said he'll do it again too. I don't know if Roy Jones is going to go again, but Tyson says he's ready to have another exhibition with somebody else. So it's cool.
Why not?
We need stuff to watch.
Exactly, and plus, stay fit, stay engaged, and if people want to see it, why not?
They've been streaming a lot of high school games too. I don't know how many people are watching them, but I think it's kind of cool that you can, watch your kid play or watch your school play. I think the more of that that's happening is kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, you mentioned the golf. They also had the third match.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Thanks for stopping by WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube this morning, and we appreciate you spending some time with us. The round table is here. Dick Hafner, Dana Clark, and Dave Rieger. Folks, Cyber Monday is in the books, and shoppers spent $10.8 billion, and that missed projections by $2 billion. It still set a record and 15% over last year, but they were really thinking this year Cyber Monday was going to just blow away all the records. It's hard to think that people spent $10.8 billion and that's still missing projections. But Dana, did you hit Black Friday sales or?
I tried. I was unsuccessful. I was looking up, I was ready on Cyber Monday. I was looking up a couple of things. It fell through. I did not make a purchase on Cyber Monday. So part of that money that's missing is my fault.
Well, good for you. Good for you. And on Friday, did you go out at all, or was it just?
No, I never do
internet?
Black Friday, even in normal times. There's nothing that I want that badly that I'll get in a fight with somebody in line to get the last TV. So I never do Black Friday. I've done Black Friday online before, but no, I never go out.
I've on Black Friday, I've been in charge of driving, where I'll pull up and let the shoppers
Pull over
out
and
of the
wait.
car, and then I'll go take a little nap and wait for a text to come back
Yeah.
and pick them up, because
That's
apparently
funny.
parking is half the battle of the Black Friday crowds in normal years.
True.
But this year, yeah, the Black Friday set records for spending, but it was more online than in person. So it was a little different year this year. Dick, Dave, did you guys do any shopping online at all?
I
Yep.
did. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And yep.
Yeah, my mouse here is all it's all worn out.
Dick, don't go crazy now. Don't spend all that money yet. It's got to
good.
stretch out now. It's got to stretch.
You're right.
Well, Dana, since you haven't done all your shopping yet, there's this new vibrating smartwatch that can help with nightmares.
Oh, really?
Apparently, people who suffer with nightmares and PTSD can wear this digital watch, and it has sensors that will go off and create some movement that will apparently prevent you from having a PTSD event or a nightmare, which I think is kind of interesting if it works.
Sleepwatch?
A sleep watch, yeah. I would like that to stop my snoring. That would be very
Now
good.
that would be a hit.
A snore watch. I don't know how that
Right.
would
Wake
work.
you up when you're snoring instead of getting an elbow.
But the technology is really interesting to watch it develop, and as you talk about hot gifts every year, and I remember when the kids were little, you'd do anything to get a hold of the hot gift. This year, PlayStation 5. Dave, do you have your PlayStation 5 yet under your tree?
No, that I failed like Dana did trying to get the PS5. I have not been able to get one yet.
There's a little boy who has brain cancer. I can't remember where he's from. I think Pennsylvania, and his friends all surprised him and got him an early Christmas present. And they waited in line and got the PlayStation 5. And the group of kids, I think they could only get one between them, and they ended up deciding to give it to their 10-year-old friend who has brain cancer. And that's pretty cool to have someone else stand in line for you to get the hottest
amazing.
gift.
That's a good friend. Good friends right there.
Yeah,
But you see these toys and other gadgets that are hot one season, and then they turn real cold the next. For example, if you walk into a store now, you can get Hatchimals for the little kids. There's lots of them. Last year, I think, was the war between people who were in stores looking for that toy and a few of the others. But now there's lots of them out there because the new hot toys are in. But as you indicated, the pandemic has just changed everything, including all the buying habits.
Mm-hmm.
Dick, why do I feel like you have a couple thousand Beanie Babies in your basement you've been collecting and are looking to sell?
Right.
I'm the king of garage sales, baby.
I can't remember the last super hot gift that we had to have, but I do remember standing in line to get them at various times. But it does seem like every year something comes out that really has people waiting in line.
Taking your money.
The Tickle Me Elmo or something? Was
Right,
that-
that's what I was thinking. That was the last hot gift I remember for kids.
Dave figured out my secret passion for Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah.
Well, at least I don't have any hula hoops in my basement,
Oh, okay.
That's good. That's good. Here's a nice little story. Lottery winner uses his money to donate Thanksgiving dinners. A North Carolina man recently won $100,000 in the lottery, and he and his wife ended up using a chunk of it to buy Thanksgiving turkeys for their entire community. And it was interesting because they had asked, well, before you'd bought the ticket, did you think about what you might spend the money on? And they were like, yeah, well, we have, student loans and college debt, and, it was $100,000. It's not like they won $100 million or something, but they said when they got the money, they recognized the need in the community and decided to share the wealth, or share the good fortune. And I think that's nice. I hope that comes back around for them in the karma world.
Those stories always make you feel good. People are good at heart, and when needed, people usually do step up.
Yeah, it's really nice. Did you guys see the Rockefeller tree went up in New York, by the way? I have my tree up in my background. We got our tree up early. we got up before the Rockefeller tree.
I think tonight they're going to light it, right?
Yeah. The tree's up, and they were saying it looked a little scrawny. It had a tough trip. There was missing some branches, but they're going to light it up at 8:00 tonight, and I'll probably watch that on TV. But
and you'll have enough time to get to bed.
I'll still be able to get to bed in time, but they won't have any crowds out there, and it's going to be yet another event and another reminder that we're just in a different year. But we'll.
You still got downtown Rochester lit up.
Oh yes, I want to go see that.
We do that. We do that every single year, and that's something you can do in a pandemic year. You can be in your car and drive around and have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate, and you're good to go. I like it. I like it. Good idea, Dick. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more. We'll take a quick break and check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
We have an off-ramp closed in Novi, 96 eastbound at your 696 M5 interchange. Accident blocking that 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound as a detour. You can take M5 eastbound to Grand River to M5 westbound. That will get you back to 696 eastbound. 94 eastbound at Merriman in Romulus. Flooding reported on that Merriman ramp to 94 eastbound. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org.
Cold air sticks around. It's a pretty chilly morning, but the winds are starting to back down. Still a light breeze. Sunshine this afternoon, 44. Passing clouds tonight, 28. Suburbs colder. Tomorrow, a few clouds around low 40s. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine with highs in the low 40s. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage-Account, News Talk 760 WJR.
If we've learned anything during the last several months of COVID-19, and as we approach flu season, it's a fact that our offices, schools, factories, and retail businesses need to be consistently cleaned and disinfected. I'm John Ezzo, CEO of New Image Building Services, and we've been creating cleaning plans across all types of businesses for 32 years.
I don't know if I should talk about this story that
Let's design a plan today.
I don't know if anybody out there watches the Mandalorian, but they in the last episode that they just the 5th episode they just streamed, they revealed Baby Yoda's real name.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if that's a somebody hasn't seen it, they would get angry. So
what do you call that? A spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert. That's right.
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, so that Baby Yoda has a real name. It's not just a child anymore.
So now, can they officially have the right to do that?
What's that?
To give Baby Yoda a name?
Yeah, I mean,
it's their property.
Yeah, Jon Favreau, right? It's his thing. So they finally said what the child, because the name of the Baby Yoda is really called, it's been called a child since people have been calling it Baby Yoda, obviously, but But Baby Yoda now has a real name. So
are you going to tell us what it is?
I will tell you.
Tell people to close their ears.
It is Baby Yoda's real name is Grogu. Grogu.
We should have had people. We should have had people guess first.
Yeah. So there you go. Patrick spelled it too.
He was on it.
Yep, Grogu. So that's Baby Yoda. That's the Baby Yoda's real name, which I like Baby Yoda better.
The marketplace minute keeps you up to date 1 minute at a time.
I'm going to have to get on that show and catch up with you.
Yeah, good show. Great show. If you have Disney Plus and the streaming, very cool. There's so many cool original shows that are that you can stream nowadays.
Right.
So good. Just waiting for our guest to call in here.
Okay.
I think we're coming back in a second. I'll let you know when the guest is on. Yeah.
With housing too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics, housing only, listen every Saturday and Sunday to the Inside Outside Guys.
For housing information you can trust, go to the InsideOutsideGuys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Waterwork Plumbing.
Plumbing, sewer, or drain problems clogging up your time? Rely on Waterwork Plumbing's 24-hour service and friendly plumbing experts to restore your pipes to perfection.
Called to have Waterwork out on a Saturday morning to replace my water heater. They arrived within 2 hours. Great price and installed and done in no time.
Leaky pipes, no hot water, or maybe you need a trusted second opinion. Waterwork has more 5-star reviews than any other plumber in Metro Detroit. Visit waterworkplumbing.com for money-saving coupons. That's waterworkplumbing.com.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Well, Health and Human Services says about 40 million doses of a vaccine will be available by the end of the month. That's enough to inoculate about 20 million people because remember, it takes 2 shots. The CDC has come up with some ideas or recommendations of who should get the first vaccines. And here to talk about it all is Tanya J. Powers of Fox News Radio and a WJR contributor. Tanya, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So what are we hearing? That we know the vaccines are coming and coming soon. What are we going to do with them? How are we going to get them to people? And who's going to get them first?
Well, who's going to get them first is the big question that was asked. Yesterday there was a panel met. The CDC, their advisory committee on immunization practices, met, and they were supposed to decide, okay, who's going to get these first? What order is this going to go in? They have recommended that the first doses of the coronavirus vaccine be given to healthcare workers, about 21 million healthcare workers, and about 3 million residents and staff of nursing homes and other long-term care facilities. So these are the 2 groups that we kind of expected to get this, first. They have been deemed the highest priority because, it's going to be in very short supply after it gets cleared. It's not cleared as of yet. Hopefully that will be happening soon. But when it's cleared, there's not a lot of these compared to the overall population of the U.S. So they got to be picky about who they give this to first. The healthcare personnel, a top priority, obviously because they're exposed to the virus on a daily basis, and our hospitals are kind of overrun at this point. So we really need to take care of these folks who are taking care of us.
That's interesting. Give me that number again, because that's the lion's share of that is going to healthcare workers rather than seniors at facilities. It seems like if it were the other way around, you might end up saving more lives. Maybe not more, I don't know, but you might be saving lives on the short term by protecting people most at risk. But here, they're going to make sure that the people who need to be there to help the most number of people get the vaccine first.
Yeah, that seems to be the breakdown. I think 21 million healthcare workers, 3 million of the nursing homes and long-term care facilities. That's kind of what they have been. They're going to suggest. If this is approved by the CDC, by the director, this will become the official guidance to the states to carry out.
And then the states don't have to necessarily follow it, right? The states can come up with their own plans if they choose to, but these are recommended guidelines.
These will be the recommended guidelines.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
I hear you. I'm sorry. Yep, I can hear you.
You got me. Okay, good. sometimes the signal goes in and out here. This was, by the way, a 13-1 vote for the priorities here on this. So it was, pretty much almost, unanimous of this. The sole dissenting vote was one of the professors of medicine at Vanderbilt. Apparently there was some unease about the recommendations on the inclusion of long-term care residents. Some of the panels apparently said there wasn't enough vaccine safety data to support giving them the shot right away. They were concerned about there not being enough of a large group of elderly people tested apparently. However, this is the guidance that they have come forth with.
And when you talk about, 40 million vaccinations, did they discuss how this is going to take place? How are we going to get these distributed?
They've been going on, guidance with some of the, Operation Warp Speed stuff ahead of this point, working with, the U.S. military at this point to try and, figure out exactly how this is going to get from, the lab to the arms, so to speak. And remember, they're expecting to have about 40 million doses from Pfizer and Moderna by the end of the year. That is enough to immunize 20 million people. And because you got to have 2 doses of these shots, the Pfizer shot has to be given 3 weeks apart, both of those shots, and the Moderna one has to be given about 4 weeks apart. So again, even though it sounds like 40 million doses is a lot, that's still only half of that actual, when you're talking about actual numbers of people.
Right. And then probably, over the next 8 weeks or 12 weeks, an awful lot more will come in. Did they talk at all or discuss at all who would come after those frontline workers? What would be next? You think about all these different professions, whether, like teachers come to mind or police officers, or maybe police officers are frontline workers. Do they talk about that distinction of who comes next?
Well, I know essential workers were mentioned in some of this. That had been also one of the questions about that. But remember, when you're talking about healthcare workers, I don't know how many healthcare workers we have in the U.S., but I'm guessing that 21 million healthcare workers is not all of them. I don't know. That's a whole different question. But you kind of got to wonder. Healthcare workers are going to be first. Long-term care facility, nursing home residents would be next. I'm assuming essential workers are going to have to be in there. Like you said, first responders like fire and police and stuff like that. I'm assuming those would be all lumped into the essential worker category. I know that the most of us who do not hold one of those, positions or, is not in one of these groups, it's going to take a few more months. We're not going to see this until, I've seen estimates of summer or early fall of next year that it would be available to, many of us that aren't in these positions. We can keep our fingers crossed that that's going to be the case. And, hopefully this gets approved and this gets on track very soon.
Well, and somebody's got to give out all these shots too. And I know at one time people were talking about the military being involved, and I recently read that they may have dentists and optometrists help inoculate people because they have the ability to do that. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually go about getting all these frontline workers inoculated.
Yeah, it will. It's going to be a massive undertaking.
And how quickly are they saying? Do they know? Is it going to be in the next 2 weeks, or is it just we're just getting close and trying to get ready?
Well, we're just getting close and trying to get ready. They're waiting on the FDA's approval. I do know that Moderna's CEO said this week that they would be ready to give shots within 24 hours after they get the FDA's approval. They're raring to go. And Pfizer is pretty much the same way. They've already said that within 24 hours of FDA clearance, the first batches can be administered really very, very, very quickly. This is not. They're trying to take out the lag time between any kind of okay versus when people can actually get them in their arm.
Well, a 13-1 vote sounds like most of the board was thinking along the same terms. Tanya Powers,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We will take a quick break on the Paul W. Smith Show. Come back with much more. Right now, let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed delivers quality candidates so you can focus on interviewing people with the right skills. Receive a $75 sponsored job credit when you upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still watching that ramp closure, 96 eastbound, ramp to 696 eastbound. Looks like a rollover accident. That off-ramp once again is closed. You can take M5 eastbound to Grand River. That will get you back to M5 westbound to 696 eastbound. Flooding reported on the ramp, Merriman ramp in Romulus to 94 eastbound. Accident in Macomb, 94 eastbound after Little Mac. That one just reported. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today. We are done with the snow showers. Lots of sunshine today, a high of 41 tonight. A few passing clouds, low 28. We get 41 on Thursday. Replace the sun with clouds, though, and also clouds to kick off the weekend on Friday, sticking with a 41 for the high. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
WJR's Business Beat, weekday mornings at 7:11. Startup Nation's Jeff Sloan talks small business and
entrepreneurs with Paul W. Smith. Brought to you by My Bank, Southeast Michigan's newest bank built for business.
So it looks like the UK has authorized the emergency use of the vaccine, which they'll start next week.
Yeah, and it sounds like everything's really going to start coming together right here, like 2-3 weeks, you think?
Yeah,
before the end of the year?
Brian and I were talking about that this morning. How quickly do you think this is going to start?
Well, they said in 2 weeks, possibly could start. So what's today? 2nd, so 14th, 16th.
Wow.
16th would be 2 weeks. There's a lot of talk about end of the year. It's hard to believe, really, that it's going to be here and available before the end of the year. If you remember during the election, it seemed like that was really wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But the president was saying, no, it's going to be here. It's happening. And it looks like he was right on this one.
That's crazy to think that there's going to be a 2-part vaccine. I'll be interested to know what the side effects.
Yeah, I've changed my feeling on this. I was earlier I'm not going to be in a hurry to get it, but I think as soon as it's available, I'm not going to take cuts on anybody to get it. But as soon as it's available to everybody, I think I'll go get that because
for sure.
I just think of a lot of people are worried about side effects. Well, what do they know about this? It's so early, it's so quick. But,
right.
But I get. It's hard to not go visit your parents. It's hard to not go, do things. And if you can do something to prevent it, a vaccine, I don't mind getting it.
Will you feel safe once you take the vaccine, both parts of the vaccine, no matter what the side effects are, will you then feel safe to go visit your parents and to go and try to get back to some sort of normal or whatever the new normal may be?
Right. That's a really good question because you still won't want to be reckless, right? but you can probably feel a little more confident in it. I think. I mean, I didn't go see them on Thanksgiving, and I would have felt more comfortable seeing them, but trying to stay 6 feet away. But,
right.
So I don't think it'd just be throw the masks away and woohoo. But I think, I think it would make me feel better about being out and about for sure.
Then once the vaccine becomes readily available to everyone, how quickly do you think that we'll get back to whatever normal is or whatever the new normal is? Do you think that'll be the end of masks? Do you think that people will stop washing their hands as much? Do you think it'll just be like, we're done. It's over. We defeated it.
Well, I remember when it first happened. I thought it was going to take a full year. I thought it was like March to March, and people were like, "No, that's forever." Because remember when it first started, they were talking about, "Oh, we'll just take a little 3-week pause here,"
Right.
I still kind of hold on that idea of March. We could be starting to come back to normal, but I don't. But I don't know that we're ever going to really come back to normal. I don't know. It's not going to be in March.
Do you think that people will still be wearing masks? Do you think that people will still be more cautious, or do you think that we're just waiting for the next pandemic to begin, the next problem to come?
Well, now that people have the hang of it, I mean, I don't see any problem with not mandatory, but if people masking up and sanitizing their hands all over the place during flu season. A lot of people die during flu season, and if there's if the doctors pop on and say, hey, this is the time it's spreading, if you can mask up and go back to your protocols for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, however long that flu season spreading is, I definitely could see that happening every year, where there's certain times when they say, hey, like the what is that? Don't fill up your gas tank. It's high emissions day or whatever. Ozone action day.
Right.
We could have some virus action days and just have a little chart. I could see that being around forever.
Joanne says that people at the U of M are starting next week to medical and first responders.
Next week, okay, yeah, they're saying 2 weeks, but next week, I think they're ready. I mean, they're here. The vaccines are here. I think they are waiting for some paperwork, like bureaucracy stuff.
Here's a
Sure.
great thing to consider doing right now.
We chatting with Dick here.
Yeah.
Call MetaShare and find out this
Oh, coming back in a little bit here. Hang tight, okay?
Yep.
Insurance. When you call it, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MetaShare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. But call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st. So call now. You'll save even more. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
The following is a public service announcement from Victor's Roofing. We all know how important the roof over our home is. It protects our loved ones. It protects our possessions. It keeps everything safe from the elements. But having a sound roof is especially important during this time of year. Why, you ask? For Santa Claus, of course. Having an unstable roof with old slick shingles could cause old Kris Kringle to fall through the roof, or worse yet, fall off the roof. Even poor attic insulation that causes melted snow in places can hamper the reindeer's ability to land safely. Look, you don't want to be that person whose bad roof sidelined Santa for the season. Call Victor's Roofing today. They're running a Santa special, a free 21-point inspection of your roof, attic insulation, and gutters. Victor's put a roof on my homes, and I know firsthand what a great company they are to work with. They'll make sure your roof is Santa safe and Santa certified. Call 734-66-66-914, 734-66-66-914, or go online at victorsroofing.com. Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Well, Michigan's 3-week shutdown expires on December the 8th. But will it expire on December 8th, or will it be extended? Governor Gretchen Whitmer had a press conference yesterday afternoon to discuss these issues, and here to discuss it with me and you is Dick Hafner. Dick, welcome back into the show.
Good morning, Kevin.
So I watched a lot of this press conference yesterday. I wanted to see what the tone was, and I know the governor's coming on our show later this morning. So if you have questions, send them to us on Facebook, and we'll try and ask those for you. But it seemed like it was a lot of we just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But I don't know. The numbers where they're at and the concerns about a Thanksgiving super spreader lead me to believe that we might be in this shutdown situation through New Year's somehow.
That's what I would expect.
Yeah.
And I saw that news conference too, and it it didn't look good. I didn't see really any glimmers of thinking that she was about to lift this latest precautionary order. So she, through the state health department, would be expected to extend this, probably through Christmas.
Boy, I'm going to guess. They did say the numbers were heading down, but they were quick to say, we don't have Thanksgiving's numbers in yet. We feel like people were out and about, we're traveling, we're visiting, we're violating our recommendations, and we think that these numbers are going to spike here when that data comes in. I just got the feeling that they were saying, look, we don't want to jump to any conclusions, but when the data comes in, it's not going to be great news. And we have, there's entertainment venues like movie theaters and bowling alleys, things like that. But the high schools and colleges and indoor dining restaurants. I was thinking maybe there might be some movement on some of those areas. Like maybe they'd say, well, we'd like to get back in school, but I don't see them getting back in school before.
Nope.
Because they'd go in and then they'd be off for the holiday breaks, right?
Right. And we know that many of the schools that are doing all virtual have said they're going to do this through basically the second week of January. Those plans are already made. There are some schools, especially parochial or private schools, which have tried to maintain in-class learning, and I think most of them have done pretty well. But those are usually smaller schools which have a lot more rules in effect, and really it's not the majority of schools. The majority of kids are still learning virtually, and we all know how difficult that is on the kids and the parents.
Yeah, the first reports have been coming out as they've done some testing on kids, and they said they can already clearly see that numbers are falling in proficiency for math and reading and other indicators that they test. It's not a great system, and it's one that we need to, when we can, get back. And there's a lot of discussion about whether we should be back or not, and how vulnerable kids actually are. And if teachers can, if we could get teachers at the front of the line to vaccinate and get inoculated, there may not be that much threat of having kids back in the classroom.
Right. Well, I think a decent question for the governor would be, when will you have your announcement as to whether the rules, the orders will be extended? Because if they're going to be extended, why don't we find out now? Or why don't we find out earlier than just waiting until December 8th? Why can't you do it now?
And I'm sure it impacts everybody who is in this sort of forced lockdown. But I think about these restaurants. And so here they make this announcement and they say, we're closing in 2 days. And so these restaurants have all this food that they now have to give away or throw away because the shutdown comes so quickly. And then when you anticipate opening up again, if you don't have advanced information, I mean, if you owned a restaurant right now, would you go and order up a bunch of food now? Because there's lag time to get your food in. So would you order up a bunch of food for December 9th, knowing that the 8th is the end of the 3-week order? Or would you wait until, you had a set date? You'd wait. And so it's hard for the businesses to plan around it. And I'm not sure what the upside is, unless they're just calling it like they see it. They said, hey, the numbers are trending down. If they keep trending down and we dodge the Thanksgiving concerns, then we will open up December 8th. But it just doesn't feel that way. And when we went through the first wave, it didn't work that way. So it's tough.
No, you can see what's coming too with the Democrats coming into power in the White House. Undoubtedly, we're going to see some sort of another stimulus package, whether it'll be passed before the new Congress gets in or whether we have to wait. That some sort of a stimulus will be coming down the pike, and that's going to be producing more of the unemployment checks, regardless of what that does to the federal federal budget and the deficit. Virtually nobody in America cares about that except the economists. The rest of the people are going to want and need relief, especially if these lockdown orders continue. And Michigan is not the only place where you have this, Kevin.
Well, and I read, I think I read there's a bipartisan bill yesterday that made it through at about $908 billion, which was more than Republicans had hoped to put out there and less than Democrats had wanted to be distributed. It's not approved, of course, but it was at least they had agreed on a bill to be looked at. But it does raise a question. You know, the governor wants $100 million from state money, state lawmakers. And should the state just wait for the federal money to roll in, or should we use the state money we have and spend $100 million to get out in front of this? And it's a real question, because there's what are we ever going to fix those roads? And we have $1 billion shortfall already projected in Michigan. So another $100 million. Do you wait, or do you just throw any money you have at COVID? And then a lot of people feel like, we're doing too much already with COVID.
Yeah. It seems like whichever way you turn, there is pain.
Yes, that is for sure. Well said, Dick Havener. Thanks for jumping in here. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more. Right now, let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Traffic First also sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA, and IBEW Local 58. Put the expertise and skill of NECA signatory contractors and IBEW electricians to work on your commercial, public, industrial, or residential construction project. Safety and proper PPE use matter more than ever. Start safe, stay safe. Visit poweringmichigansfuture.com. 94 eastbound between Little Mac and Harper, accident blocking your left two lanes, traffic getting by in that right lane only, seeing brake lights through that stretch. Watch for flooding 94 eastbound at Merriman, actually on the Merriman ramp to 94 eastbound, ramp restrictions there. It is flooded in that area. The off-ramp in Novi still closed, 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound, rollover accident has that ramp shut down. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org.
Real good looking hump day. A few clouds around, otherwise blue sky. Staying chilly, but slightly above normal on a west breeze, 44. Passing clouds tonight, 28. Suburbs a tad cooler. Tomorrow, some clouds, 42. Friday, clouds, sunshine with a high near 42. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stage on News Talk 760 WJR.
At Wayne State University, improving the quality.
Here we go. Okay, your next guest is ready to go, Kevin.
All right.
Finish your degree to do it. There's no better place to be. With more than 350 degree programs. No one has more ways to make a world-class education.
Mark says the governor will wait until 5 p.m. a day before to announce additional lockdowns. So that would be December 7th at 5 p.m. to announce further lockdowns. Dave, you were so good on the snowstorm. Do you want to give us a day and time of prediction of an announcement that they'll be either lifted or continued?
I will say that it will be extended, and I will say it'll be sometime within a couple of days before, probably within a week.
That's a big no, you can't do a whole week before. We're at a week before right now. We're 1 week away right now.
Okay, 3 days before at least then.
3 days. Well, that's a big window. This is like The Price is Right. Mark gives us a 5 p.m. on December the 7th.
Get within I got to get within 24 hours to win the showcase. Is that it?
Yeah. If you're too late, you go over. You don't win. So.
5 o'clock. Yeah. Right.
So maybe take 5 o'clock.
I'm gonna say 3 o'clock. She'll announce it at 3 o'clock. She usually does it between 1 and 3. That's 1 p.m. Yeah, but I don't know.
You're gonna take the 7th, or you're gonna take the 6th, or the 5th?
Let's see. What's
the 2nd now?
What date is the
8?
What day is the 8? What day? What day is that? What day?
Oh, it's a week from today, Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday. So she will do it then on
Monday morning.
Oh, maybe Monday morning.
Monday, whenever she does her press conferences.
Yeah, or Monday. Yeah, Monday.
3 o'clock. That 3 o'clock.
Monday at 2:47 p.m. and 50 seconds. How's that?
There, I walked you through it so that I can make you keep your kingpin title. I don't. No wonder everyone thinks you're so good at this. You predicted within a week.
The kingpin nickname is not have to do anything with gambling.
It's bowling.
Yes,
it's bowling. What's your highest average in a season?
The highest average I ever carried for a season, 227.
And how many 300 games do you have?
9.
9
300 games. But that was a while ago. My last 300 game that I bowled was 2014, I think.
My brother-in-law was a pro bowler for about 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's probably between our ages. But anyway, his buddy Smalls from Saginaw was just in the Final Four a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw that.
Back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again, substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
President Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, is scheduled to be here in Michigan and appear before the Michigan House Oversight Committee as he continues to raise claims of wrongdoing in the November 3rd election. Will it make a difference? Will it matter at all? Here to talk about it a little bit is Craig Marger of the Detroit News. Craig, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I saw your article, and you can read that in the Detroit News at DetroitNews.com. It's interesting to me because there's still people out there that think somehow the president is going to get a victory in court, that he's going to get somehow to the Supreme Court or get enough states overturned, and the president hasn't given up, and therefore a lot of his supporters haven't given up either. But most reporters will say it's absolutely cannot happen, will not happen. There's no evidence to prove it. But we kind of have to some degree, at least wait until the evidence gets in front of judges and gets through the courts a little bit. What is your take on Rudy Giuliani appearing today and this whole legal battle?
I would say two things. One, this is really going to be a moment where the Trump campaign has been suggesting that there's all this wrongdoing, and this is going to be the moment where lawmakers are going to ask them to put their cards on the table and show them the evidence that they have. The former New York City mayor has appeared in Pennsylvania and Arizona before lawmakers, and he, at those hearings, kind of just restated some of the claims that have been put out there in other lawsuits. And they're claims of irregularities, and they're kind of speculative claims about, hey, we saw some strange things happen, but there really hasn't been concrete evidence put out yet that point to 154,000 fraudulent votes in Michigan, and that is Joe Biden's margin here. And the other thing I would say ahead of this hearing is that, the Trump campaign has been subtly sometimes and directly sometimes pushing this idea the Republican lawmakers should somehow intervene and appoint pro-Trump electors, somehow get pro-Trump electors into the Electoral College vote on December 14th. And over again, the Republican leaders in Michigan have spoken out against that idea and said, there's no way for them to do that under current state law. So kind of these 2 points, this idea that Republican lawmakers can intervene and this pushback that, hey, state law doesn't really allow for that, that will probably also come to a head today in some ways. Whether it happens in an open and obvious way or whether it happens subtly, that's something to watch for.
Yeah, when it first started rolling out, I saw these broad brush strokes of this is what our case is going to look like, or this is what we're going to show, or these were the irregularities. And I sort of looked at it as, well, maybe the attorneys are buying some time to come up with a legal strategy that actually might get to the Supreme Court, and they might be able to get a question raised, a bigger question about mail-in votes overall, something legal that maybe was attached to COVID and how ballots were issued, or something like that would have to make millions of votes be discounted for some legal challenge or something. But as you watch this go state by state, as you said, have they really changed their argument at all? Have they introduced anything that would show some, at least, hope of some challenge that would lead to enough votes to actually change the outcome?
I mean, they've thrown out some new legal arguments, specifically Sidney Powell, who's an attorney that was working with the Trump campaign, and now as the Trump campaign has distanced itself from her. They filed last week a 75-page suit in federal court challenging Michigan's result. But really, it was based around essentially some of the past arguments thrown in with some new ones. They've done some statistical analysis that they claim point to problems. The issue of the mail-in ballots has been brought up. It's a tough one to argue because that sending out absentee ballot applications to registered voters across the state, I mean, that was initiated many months before the election. So I think they have a really uphill battle legally on that claim because a judge is going to say, why didn't you bring this earlier? And when it was brought earlier, it was shot down. And then also, I mean, they would essentially be asking a court to disenfranchise, millions of people who voted through a mail-in ballot in order to swing the election. And most judges so far have been hesitant to that idea. So they're looking for the legal strategy, as you stated, and so far they haven't found anything that I can see that's new and that's going to be compelling in the court, at least so far.
So obviously the president has the right to challenge the election, and this is part of the process, I suppose. Is there any downside to letting Rudy Giuliani come in and appear before the Michigan House Oversight Committee, other than maybe giving supporters false hope or something? Is there anything wrong with him coming in and doing this as part of the process?
I think there are the potential, as lawmakers are looking at this, I'm guessing the potential negatives are this idea of false hope. If he comes in and starts telling these Republican lawmakers, you have the ability to intervene and appoint pro-Trump electors, that's going to put the Republicans in the state legislature in a really tough spot, because that's going to give hope to President Trump's supporters in the state that they believe that these Republicans can actually do something when state law really doesn't allow for that. So, I mean, that's a potential hurdle here. And then there's, Democrats are going to be pushing the attack that, hey, we have a pandemic that's raging across the state. And instead of working on that, you're taking time away to hear testimony from the president's attorney. I mean, I think those are the two negatives that we're going to hear come out today, potentially play out today. On the other side of this, I mean, this is the president's attorney. And I think Republican lawmakers can make a point that, he wants to come testify before our committee. We're going to let the president's attorney do that. So, I mean, there are definitely two sides.
Do you expect that Rudy Giuliani will have access to take questions from reporters, local or otherwise?
I have no idea on that yet. I mean, I think I would expect that he's going to have to at least have questions shouted at him, because the way the committee rooms work in the House office building is there's very few ways for someone who testifies at a committee to get out without reporters being able to at least approach them with a microphone and ask them questions. But I don't really know how they're going to arrange this hearing, and I don't know how it's played out in Pennsylvania and Arizona. But I mean, he's coming in to our state to try to make the argument for the president, so I would expect that he would want to answer reporters' questions, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too. And how does the fact that the Michigan Board of State Canvassers certified the results, does that change the legal argument?
I think it makes it a tougher legal argument. I mean, basically, you have the board that's in charge of validating the results has already acted, and they voted 3-0. One Republican voted with the Democrats to do so. And then even on top of that, the state board acted, and then county boards in all 83 counties have already certified these results. So, I mean, it's been through this process, and now it's going to be a steeper climb to get a judge to overrule their actions, to get a judge to somehow swing 154,000 votes. I mean, that's a very big ask that the Trump campaign is making here.
And the president's not going to get any help out of the governor's office or the secretary of state's office, both Democrats here in Michigan.
and even a lot of the local clerks who ran the election. I mean, they have, both Republican and Democrat have repeatedly stood up and spoken out for what they believe was a secure and safe election.
Well, Craig, I hope you guys get some questions into Rudy Giuliani, and I hope he answers them. I'm interested to see what he has to say. Thanks for being on the show today, and you can read Craig's story at DetroitNews.com.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, have a great day. We're going to take a quick break here on the Paul W. Smith Show. We got a lot more coming up, including the governor. Right now, let's check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Kevin's still watching that accident in Novi, blocking the on-ramp 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound. Unfortunately, this is a rollover crash. Looks like the car slid off the freeway. You can take M5 eastbound to Grand River. That will take you to M5 westbound. That will get you back to 696 eastbound. Accident in Macomb, blocking 2 lanes. Your 2 left lanes are blocked. 94 eastbound between Little Mac and Harper. Traffic is slow through that stretch. New accident reported. Lodge southbound at Wyoming. It's blocking the left lane. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. Shop Karastan's vinyl floors exclusively at Reamer Floors. Luxury vinyl floors by Karastan are better than nature intended. Shop from home at reamerfloors.com or shop in-store by appointment. Reamer Floors on Telegraph in Bloomfield Hills. Expecting it to be lots of sunshine today, a little bit warmer too, a high of 41 tonight, few passing clouds, low 28. We get a redo on Thursday, but instead of the abundant sunshine, we get partly cloudy skies in the morning, then clouds in the afternoon, a high of 41 on Thursday. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman. Are you changing your investment strategy as a result of the recent elections? Half of those polled before the election said they would. Should you too? Let me give you the answer. Join me for a special election investment strategy webinar on Tuesday, December 8th at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll show you what the election means for your investments and my 3-step investment strategy you need right now. The webinar's free. Just register at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. At Edelman Financial Engines, we've been helping folks just like you get through every crisis and every election since 1986. And we can help you get through this crisis and this election season, too. You'll be surprised at what I have to tell you in this webinar, so join me December 8th at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern and learn how you need to be handling your investments right now. Register now at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. Once again, ricedelman.com.
What's the perfect holiday gift this holiday season? Untucked shirts. They're the comfortable, easy-to-wear styles every guy loves. And there's never been a better time to buy because everything in Untucked is on sale right now. Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel comfortable. Who wouldn't love to unwrap one of our iconic wrinkle-free button-downs, super soft flannels, and our famous polos? So don't wait. Our holiday sale is the best time to find the perfect shirt at untucked.com or at 80-plus Untucked stores. Untucked, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
You know what's not healthy? Stressing about work, or maybe you're out of work. Stop. Hit reset. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. Financial aid, including the GI Bill, is available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The vaccine is coming out first in Britain. Britain has given the emergency approval for the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine. That country's health secretary, Matt Hancock, explains how the government there will determine who gets it first.
The Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunisation is the clinical committee that advises the government on the priority and who gets the vaccine in what order. They will be setting out details of that prioritisation later this morning, along with the MHRA, who will set out the clinical details behind this vaccine and why they've taken the decision to authorise it.
A meeting by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on the Pfizer vaccine will be December 10th. Dr. Caldoun in Michigan says there is work being done to determine how Michigan would distribute any vaccines.
As of today, there are 48 hospitals and 12 local health departments across the state with these ultra-cold freezer capabilities who are able to receive and administer the Pfizer vaccine if it became available today. There are also over 100 hospitals and local health department sites across the state that have the ability to store and distribute the Moderna vaccine.
The military in Michigan is preparing to be involved in distribution. Rudy Giuliani is set to appear before a Michigan House committee looking into the election processes. That's the Michigan House Oversight Committee. It's led by Republicans. Giuliani and the Trump campaign, of course, charge mass fraud in the election, although numerous lawsuits have been unsuccessful. The Michigan Democrats called these hearings reckless and irresponsible. Many of those who appeared before the Oversight Committee yesterday and last evening say they witnessed irregularities and fraud in Detroit. Former Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale says the legal fights challenging the election results were planned long in advance with the assumption that voter fraud would be rampant, but somewhere along the line, he says those plans were dropped.
Why weren't during the early voting days? Why weren't they already getting in there and then already filing lawsuits? Why they're not in there? Why are we doing it post? And I think that somebody did drop the ball on that. And I think as campaign manager, I wouldn't have been an expert at everything, but I always knew how to sit and ask the questions to everybody. I would have put the right staff in front of me and said, why are we not doing this? How are we, every day I said, how are we preventing fraud? How are we preventing that we get beat by the DNC in this?
Competing proposals in Congress to provide additional coronavirus relief continue to be debated. A famous chef's game show winnings will go to help struggling restaurant owners amid the pandemic.
Celebrity chef David Chang taking to Twitter to say his $1 million winnings from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire will go to the Houston-based Southern Smoke Foundation, which provides emergency funds for employees and business owners in the hospitality industry. Chang becoming the first star to win the top prize on the rebooted show, phoning a friend, ESPN journalist Mina Kimes, to help him answer the question, who was the first president to have electricity in the White House? The answer, President Benjamin Harrison. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
The World Market Update is sponsored by Mother Waddles. Donate your car to Mother Waddles and help the poorest of the poor. Call 313-WADDLES. Asia is mixed. London is up. The Dow futures are down 91. For WJR News, I'm Dick Hafner. More coming up with Kevin Dietz.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein. As kids, my sister Beth and I spent Saturdays with our dad, Sam Bernstein, driving all over town when he visited with clients and their families. And we learned as young kids that clients are like family. And that's what you do for family. Every day we fight for families like yours because we are family.
We are family.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
This is Mike Donovan, host of Not Free America on Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on WJR AM 760 in Detroit. Will our country survive the coronavirus, riots, and economic devastation? Join us each week as we help you prepare for the new normal in this Not Free America.
What's the perfect holiday gift this holiday season? Untucked shirts. They're the comfortable, easy-to-wear styles every guy loves. And there's never been a better time to buy because everything in Untucked is on sale right now. Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel comfortable. Who wouldn't love to unwrap one of our iconic wrinkle-free button-downs, super soft flannels, and our famous polos? So don't wait. Our holiday sale is the best time to find the perfect shirt at untucked.com or at 80-plus Untucked stores. Untucked, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
You know what's not healthy? Stressing about work, or maybe you're out of work. Stop. Hit reset. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. Financial aid, including the GI Bill, is available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Thanks for stopping by the Paul W. Smith Show on WJR 760, where Detroit comes to talk. We were just discussing Rudy Giuliani's trip to Michigan in an attempt to overturn the results here in Michigan. Now we're going to get a national view to see where the president stands on his hopes to overturn the election results. Joining us now is the former chairwoman of the Massachusetts Republican Party and founder of Conservative Women for a Better Future. Jennifer Nassour, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. What do you make of Rudy Giuliani appearing in Michigan today?
Well, I mean, I'm glad that they're doing this, right? Because I think that what is needed is to bring to light that the election fraud and voter fraud, and to make sure that this doesn't happen ever again. I don't think it's going to change any results at all. I mean, I think that it's great. It's probably Rudy Giuliani's last moment in the spotlight, and it's great that he's out there doing this. But at the end of the day, and Giuliani is a fighter. I'm originally from New York. I live in Massachusetts now. I watch Giuliani. He's a fighter. He loves this stuff. I just don't think it's going to change any results when the Electoral College meets.
Yeah, here in Detroit, for years we've had problems with the numbers matching up, and so there's been discrepancies continuously for a long time. And I feel like this is an opportunity to take a look. Why not go in and do a full examination to find out what we're doing that allows for the numbers not to match up, even if it's not going to overturn the results. I don't see how that can be a negative thing.
Absolutely, and I think that unfortunately, mainstream media and the left want to make it into Trump isn't leaving and this is what we knew was going to happen. And, it feeds into their narrative, but we need to let it not feed into the narrative, because at the end of the day, if this happened and it was Joe Biden and Joe Biden was doing this, everyone would be rallying around him and saying, this is his legal right. This is a procedure that is actually accessible in elections. And so why not? And so, for me, I think, why don't we do this? Because for you, in Michigan, have the same thing I have here in Massachusetts. In a state like where we're run by Democrats, you just think, what's going to happen to Republicans after a while? We're going to become, an endangered species because they have figured out how to play the electoral system, and we haven't. So let's get to the root of it, and let's make the changes now before we have any other big elections.
Well, and the truth is, in 4 years from now, if they don't fix it, we'll still have irregularities, and it could turn the other way. So why not figure out where we're headed and what we're doing? So I appreciate that. Tell me what's going on more of a national scene. There's been some new lawsuits in Wisconsin, is some activity in Arizona. Bring us up to speed on what's happening and the likelihood of any successes.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona, the votes have been certified. I think it was yesterday, the governor there, Doug Ducey, certified the election results. So, I don't know how much more can be done in Arizona. They can try to push it, but I think that they're going to get a lot of pushback from the governor and the legislature there. And in Wisconsin, I think it's going to go the way that the other lawsuits have gone. We saw last week how a Trump appointee ruled against him. And so I don't have much hope. Again, here's the thing. This process is a legitimate process. It is a process that is available. It is something that the president should and his team should be allowed to pursue. Does it change anything? Probably not. But it puts it in the news, it puts it in people's minds, and it makes people question and not just go along with what they're told is how it is. Because unfortunately, I feel that most people look at their politicians, look at their elected officials as celebrities, and they're not. They actually are paid for by taxpayers, and so they should be held to a stricter standard to be honest and forthright and conduct elections, conduct themselves, speak out in the media in the way that their voters want them to, and not just because they're trying to get more people on their Twitter feeds.
Do you think there's still a U.S. Supreme Court Hail Mary out there somewhere for supporters of the president, or do you think it's over?
I don't think so. I think, it has to have, there has to be some other way to make an end run that the states really didn't look at all of the evidence. And I just don't think it's going to get up to the Supreme Court.
All right.
But look, at the end of the day, we there are still things that are going on. And I think that there's still an opportunity to find those extra votes. But realistically, I think that what we should all be most concerned about is, any type of fraud is bad, right? We don't want it when we go to the bank. We don't want it when we don't want anyone skimming more money off of us when we go out to eat or to go get gas. And this is the same thing. And so I think that the most important thing here is to make sure that the democratic process is strong and people have confidence in it.
All right. Jennifer Nassar, founder of Conservative Women for a Better Future. Thanks for being on the show this morning.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Now we're going to check WJR's Business Beat. Here's Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community right here on WJR.
Good morning. I've got some good news for us more seasoned, experienced demographic of aspiring entrepreneurs. While we always tend to think of starting a business as an activity in which a mostly younger demographic engages, think again. There's hope for us. A recent study of 2.7 million startups found that the ideal age to start a business is much older than you think. A recent study conducted by the Census Bureau and 2 MIT professors found that the most successful entrepreneurs tend to be those in their 40s and 50s and even older. The researchers compiled a list of 2.7 million company founders who hired at least one employee between 2007 and 2014 and found that the average startup founder was 45 years old when he or she founded the most successful companies. Even more encouraging, they found that a 50-year-old entrepreneur is almost twice as likely to start an extremely successful company versus a 30-year-old founder, and almost 3 times more likely than a 25-year-old founder to create a successful company. But the best, a 60-year-old startup founder is more than 3 times as likely to find success with his or her startup than a company founded by a 30-year-old. So the obvious question is why? Well, the study found that while ideas are great, it's the level of execution that is the primary factor in determining successful outcomes. Likewise, strategy is great, but it's the tactics actually deployed that matters most. And it's the experience base of the more seasoned demographic that is proving to lead to better execution. So no excuses based on age. The bottom line, regardless of age, get out there and start it up. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Well, Kevin, let's check on that earlier problem. At least a couple of things are clear. So let's start there. 94 westbound after Division Road. Earlier disabled vehicle is clear. 94 eastbound between Little Mac and Harper. That accident is also clear. Lodge southbound at Wyoming. Collision blocks a left lane. 96 eastbound at Novi Road. Accident is blocking the right shoulder and still dealing with that closure. 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound is closed due to an overturned vehicle. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Clarkston Window and Door. Over 31 years in business, over 450 combined years of experience installing windows. Trust a specialist at Clarkston Window and Door. Act now to take advantage of 31% off install windows, doors, and garage doors. 248-338-6781 or clarkstonwindow.com.
Enjoy the sunshine now, and sunshine's in the forecast as we head through the day. Clear sky to start, cold, sunshine 44 later on the west breeze. Tonight, some clouds 28, suburbs colder. Tomorrow, a few clouds around low 40s. Friday, clouds and sunshine with highs again low 40s. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Original Murdoch's Fudge is delivering fudge to your door.
Hold on one second, Kev.
It's time to say happy friends and family with a holiday treat. Give the sweetest made in Michigan treat, Original Murdoch's Fudge. Place your order now for sweet savings. Order now online. OriginalMurdochsFudge.com. That's originalmurdochsfudge.com. It's a year in which we've witnessed countless acts of heroism. 760 WJR celebrates our extraordinary Michigan military, first responders, frontline workers, and their families. WJR's Christmas on Us honors 5 special families and rewards them with gifts, spending cash, and more. Join us in our effort. Visit WJR.com to nominate a deserving military member, first responder, or frontline worker. WJR's Christmas on Us is brought to you in part by Guernsey Farms Dairy, McLaren Healthcare, the Beebe family, and presented by Ahee Jewelers. WJR honors our 2020 class of women who lead. 12 outstanding female leaders making a difference in the Great Lakes region. Listen Friday morning.
Governor's on the line, Kevin.
All right, cool.
So, Kev, are you a fan of Chipotle?
My kids are, so I've been there. It seems like it's this huge thing when it's served,
Yeah.
Whatever it is we order. And it just always reminds me of like a snake that eats like once every 9 days. But it is tasty. I'll give you that.
They're testing a new smoked brisket in Cincinnati and Sacramento stores.
Well, I'm a friend of smoked briskets.
So am I. So I hope they bring it to Detroit. So I think it'd be cool. All right, hang tight. We're coming back.
All right.
Like family. And that's what you do for family. Every day we fight for families like yours because we are family.
We are family.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Joining us now is the governor of the great state of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. Governor, thanks for checking in with us this morning.
Good morning. I'm glad to be with you.
Yeah, so you guys had a small family Thanksgiving, family only with some Zoom calls. Was it a dud or was it fun?
It was fun. We played some games and we ate very early and so we could watch the Lions game, which unfortunately didn't go our way, but it was a good time together.
Yeah, that game was not a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a different Thanksgiving for sure. A lot of phone calls, but it was also nice to celebrate in a smaller way. I enjoyed it. You have some people mad at you again. This 3-week shutdown is hurting small businesses. People miss spending Thanksgiving with loved ones. Do you think you made the right call with the 3-week restriction?
Yeah, I spent most of my day on Sunday talking with national experts to kind of get some counsel, to get some feedback, to get an understanding of where we think we're headed and what we're going to see over the course of the next couple of months. And universally, they thought we were taking thoughtful actions that were targeted and temporary. And, I understand businesses that are unhappy. We're all unhappy. None of us wants to be in this position. And yet we know that the act of coming together indoors and not wearing masks and combining lots of different households is inherently risky in this moment. And that's why restaurants are one of those places where all of those things happen. And that's why we wanted to take a pause and see if we can get these numbers to flatten out and get headed in the right direction. And there's some preliminary information that may be happening. It's too early to say for sure. And that's why we got to watch the numbers very closely every single day in hopes that this is going to make a difference. But with so many people traveling for Thanksgiving, we're all very worried about what the next couple of months is going to look like in terms of just sheer volume of COVID cases.
Right. So I watched your press conference yesterday, and it seems like the numbers are trending down a little bit, but we don't have the data from Thanksgiving that there might be a big spike that we're concerned about. The pause is until December 8th. That's a week away. Do you think there's any chance that it will not be extended? Is Christmas in Michigan going to look like Thanksgiving did?
Well, regardless of if we see, our numbers flatten out, for Christmas, we really are encouraging people not to travel, not to gather, not to have multiple households indoors together without masks for any period of time, much less a prolonged period of time. It's just inherently dangerous. And this holiday season is just going to have to look differently than others. But this time next year, it'll be very different. We can get back to our traditions and our big gatherings, and no one's more excited about that prospect than I am. But right now, we're asking everyone to take this very seriously, because none of us wants to be that relative that unwittingly exposed someone we love to a virus that could be deadly. And that's a very real possibility if we come together in numbers of households indoors without masks on.
I think about restaurants at this time, and when there's a shutdown like this, they have all this food that they had ordered and paid for it, and they have to give away or get rid of, and then to open up again, they have to pre-order. Is there a reason not to just announce an extension as early as possible, rather than to kind of wait until the 8th to decide whether or not to continue on?
I think that that's a legitimate question. I wish that I had a great answer for you. The problem is the numbers, the testing that we're doing every single day is going to have to inform decisions. And as we get closer, we'll have better information that really tells us what the trend looks like. And we want to work with the restaurants. I feel each of these decisions weighs so heavily. I know that livelihoods and small businesses are on the line, and jobs are too, but I also know that for their workforces, for their customers, for their long-term economic health, we've got to really get this public health crisis right, and following the science and listening to the experts has been something that helped us in the spring, and it's going to guide us now too.
You're asking the legislature for a $100 million stimulus package. We know the feds have come together with a bill on a $908 billion package. Why not wait for the federal money? What do you need the state money for right now?
Well, we've been waiting for 6 months for the feds to come together. And now that there's more discussion, that's a good thing, but it's not action yet. And I am worried about our restaurants and our small businesses. I'm worried about our, Michiganders who are not working right now, whose unemployment benefits could run out at the end of December. I'm worried about our ability to build up right now our apparatus to disseminate vaccines when they are available. All of that needs to be done now, and we've been under-resourced from the federal government for months, and we can't afford just to wait. I do believe that they will come forward with some sort of a package. I'm hopeful there will be one by the end of this year, and there will be more with the Biden administration and the next Congress, but we just can't wait for these things. People are really struggling. Businesses are struggling, and we've got a lot of work to do on the vaccine front.
A lot of people on social media say if the state didn't shut down all these businesses, we wouldn't need this bailout. What do you say to people who feel that way?
Well, that's not accurate at all. The problem that we've seen in states like Georgia and Florida and Texas, who didn't follow the science, they've got even worse economic problems than we do in a lot of ways. They've got more people that are struggling, and certainly more people who died because they didn't take this virus seriously. Health systems that were pushed to the brink and may not ever recover. So following the science has been not just the right thing to do for the health and safety of our people, but certainly for mitigating the harm to our economy. But let's be clear, every state in the nation is feeling the impacts of a virus that we never had a national strategy on, and every governor's trying to mitigate that. But this lack of a national strategy has meant every state in the nation is struggling, and unfortunately what we're dealing with is not unique.
So here in Michigan, if $100 million goes to COVID efforts, where does that money come from? Do we ever get to the roads? Do we lose this money from other areas that people are counting on?
Well, we do have some ability to prioritize dollars toward the end of this year for needs that we know are crucial to get through this crisis. This crisis will not last forever, but right now is a very serious moment that we need to make some investments to help people get through the next few months. And so these short-term needs we can meet. Ultimately, our longer-term needs, we're going to have to work together to resolve, but we've got to act swiftly right now to get through this moment.
And I understand you had some Made in Michigan shopping tips for people who are still looking to get their holiday gifts.
Well, you know what? I'm encouraging people to buy local, to buy small
from their small businesses in their community or across Michigan. So I ordered gift baskets from Detroit Basket Company and sent them to my relatives in New York, who I won't see this Christmas, but they can get some good stuff from Michigan. I bought gift certificate to restaurants here in town for my brother for his Christmas present, and I sent some koozie nuts from Grand Rapids to Florida for other relatives. So I think it's important that we support local businesses. If we spent just a fraction of what we spend every year right here in Michigan, it'll keep Michigan businesses thriving, and it will help us get through this tough time.
And you can save some money on wrapping paper now because the surprise is over. They already know what they're getting now, so you don't have to wrap their gifts.
I'm still going to wrap them.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thanks for coming on the Paul W. Smith Show. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kevin. Good talking with you.
All right. Have a great day. Much more of the show coming up. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show on this Wednesday, December the 2nd. Right now, we're going to check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Another accident is gone, Kevin, Lodge southbound at Wyoming. That is clear. So watching a couple of things out there. 96 eastbound at Novi Road. Wreck is blocking that right shoulder. Rollover accident has 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound. That ramp is closed. You can take M5 eastbound to Grand River. That will take you to M5 westbound to get back to 696 eastbound. Also a slow ride 96 eastbound between Novi Road and 696. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Michael Perna. And the Perna Team Realtors word, if this is the right time to sell your home, it's time to call Michael Perna. Michael Perna with Keller Williams Realty guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline that you agreed to, or he'll buy it himself. Call Michael Perna, 844-737-6276, or visit thepernateam.com and start packing. Clear skies, 29 degrees, lots of sunshine expected today, a high of 41. Tonight, a few passing clouds, your low 28. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Recently, WJR filmed a very informative webinar with me and my local expert friends at Senior Health Medicare. Guy Gordon here, and now is the time to learn and save when it comes to your Medicare needs. This webinar is a WJR must-see. All you need to do is visit mymedicareuniversity.com. As you view the webinar, you can live chat throughout in real time with an advisor from Senior Health Medicare. So visit mymedicareuniversity.com to view our must-see free webinar, or call 248-230-8595 for consultation. I can tell you thousands of WJR seniors have benefited from our trusted local experts at Senior Health Medicare. And I am so confident this webinar will guide you through the confusing that confronts all of us.
Your next guest is ready to go, Kev.
All right. Sounds good.
So, so what do you think? Is it's going to get extended?
Yeah, it's going to get extended. There's just no way. Her talking about Christmas and not traveling in groups and not moving around. It doesn't make any sense to open on the 8th and then close down again on the 18th or something right before.
Right.
To open for 10 days. I think we're toast until after New Year's.
Does anybody think that it'll be a problem on New Year's too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I really think we're going to stay in this current status until after New Year's. Because how do you say, all right, let's open up, let's go back to the restaurants, let's go back to everything, and then all of a sudden it's the holidays and it's the same as Thanksgiving. I mean, you got,
even if we have the vaccine in the next couple of weeks.
You won't have one in the next couple of weeks. Just the frontline workers will.
Right.
You won't have one until probably March.
Oh, you think so? I think it'll
February.
Take March.
Yeah, they're saying second for just regular folks. They're saying second quarter. So that's April maybe even. So yeah, no, I don't see how it can happen. I'm not sure why not just say, hey, we're going to the end of the year. I mean, at least then people can figure it out.
Right. Very interesting to see what happens.
State and local public health staff simply cannot reach out to everyone in a timely way.
WJR News has learned that military facilities in the state are involved in preparing for distribution of the vaccine. The state of Michigan reports 5,793 more cases and 190 more deaths. The governor says that she made the right decision in clamping a
But I also think that New Year's Eve is going to be a little bit different than it normally is too. So,
Well, yeah, don't you think in Michigan it's going to be shut down?
I mean, there's not going to be what's going to be going on. Nothing. There's going to be nothing going on.
Well, if they lifted the restrictions, there would be restaurants and bars and
but they're not
things.
going to be lifted. So,
Well, think about how many people forget big parties, New Year's parties, but think how many people go out for dinner on New Year's. I mean,
a
lots.
lot of people like to go to the movies too.
And everybody, I mean, I probably go to dinner more in December than by far any month of the year because I'll go to dinner with my high school friends and dinner with my college friends and then dinner, we set all these little holiday get-togethers. And look, that isn't happening right now.
It was so much easier in the summer. We just go play golf.
Right.
Can't do that anymore now.
Mark says there will be an extension. Unfortunately, I have a hard time believing the governor or anything. I think we're done till at least January 6th or something, which is a lot more than we're only at the 8th, so it's almost another month.
So you're talking about another month probably before we actually get to.
It just doesn't make sense to me to open up again and then close down again. I mean, unless you think they can open up and get through
people are going to go and travel. People are going to go travel for Christmas. They traveled for you saw how busy the airport was for Thanksgiving.
Right, but that's with the shutdown. So if it was open, if there's no shutdown, I can only imagine. So.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, Mark, because that's Kevin's next guest is mental health during what's going on right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I don't know if people are going to stay away on Christmas. Thanksgiving's one thing to ask, but
this is so big. It's so huge. So yeah.
Now the Spartans have a couple of
be interesting to see what happens.
Do you? No, I'm good.
We won't get the numbers for Christmas until probably close to when New Year's is going on. So
yeah, but we'll have Thanksgiving's numbers next week.
What are you thinking? You thinking it's going to show just giant?
I think it'll go up. I think it'll go up, but I don't think it'll be giant.
WJR News.
There weren't that many places you could go.
Hey, Sean the Legion here for
Right.
corned beef. Living in Metro Detroit my whole life, I've been a
Well, we had the Lions game, so that was something to do or something to watch. Yeah, there was no parade, there was no turkey trot, there was no there wasn't a lot of stores that were open to start Black Friday shopping. It was just totally different.
Right.
So, here we come.
Or celebrating with loved ones during the upcoming holiday season. I invite you to head on down to beautiful Eastern Market and pick up some Wiggly's today. Wiggly's is cooked to perfection every time. Or if you're really daring and you're the master of your own pet, you can even smoke Wiggly's corned beef at home like I do. For more information and market hours, call 888-WIGGLYS or go to Wigglys.com. That's Wigglys.com.
The colder weather's upon us, and that can mean more aches and pains. Now, I know a lot of us may not want to leave our home right now, but my friends at the Restore Wellness Center, they have enhanced their safety protocols. They're making sure that their offices are cleaned and sanitized for you and their employees' safety. Recently, they helped relieve my neck pain. What I really like is they create a custom plan that can help people with minor aches all the way up to someone who's the most severe by using the nation's top laser system. Someone like me who woke up with neck pain overnight to someone who may be struggling with severe pain for the past 25 years. I've been in both boats. And these people at the Restore Wellness Center, they can help. The Restore Wellness Center relieves pain, increases function, and that's the bottom line. Don't sit by just dealing with the pain. Get rid of it. Call the largest, most experienced laser treatment center in Michigan today. Receive your first treatment free. Locations in Bloomfield, Brighton, and Shelby. 800-935-5959 or RestoreWellnessCenter.com. Restore Wellness Center. What do you need restored?
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
I have a friend who's having a tough time. You know, he has his job, but there's not as much work to do working from home. His kids are homeschooling, and he's worried about whether they're learning enough. His parents are older, and he's not able to visit them. He's just like, this is a real downer. And when I was talking to him, he said, but what really has him worried is the holiday season coming up. Every year, the holidays are tough for him. He says he battles with depression during the holidays, and a lot of people do. So with all we've been through the last 11 months with COVID-19, and now we have the holidays coming up, it's a lot for a lot of people. And here to talk a little bit about it is Jill Blackson, Deputy Director of Community Care Services. Jill, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So we've been through a lot already the last 11 months. It has not been easy, and people, anyways, have their highs and lows. But as the holidays come and are upon us, it really hits a lot of people hard, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Even more so than I think the normal, time of year blues that everyone gets. With this pandemic going on so long, it changes the tone even more when you're thinking about the holidays and the blues and things that you just mentioned, for sure.
So we've come off Thanksgiving here, and a lot of people were hoping to get together with their family and enjoy it, and people were asked to not do that, to stay home and to Zoom or FaceTime or things like that. What is the emotional toll of going through Thanksgiving the way we did?
Well, I think that everyone's feeling a little bit disconnected. So going into this next holiday coming up with Christmas, I think it's important to look at if we were feeling this way over Thanksgiving, and it might be that we have to do the same thing for this upcoming holiday, how can we do that and still stay connected? And maybe set up those Zooms if we did it before, and start having those conversations now so that we're a little bit more prepared going into Christmas, and recognizing that, we are literally all in this together. And if we can lean on each other a little bit more, check on each other a little bit more, that can make a big difference. We can still have a good holiday. It's just going to look a little bit different.
Yeah, one of the things that really helped for me over Thanksgiving was the weather was good, and we were able to get out and go for walks and just sort of be out and about. But now the snow is hit. It's chilly out today, and it's dark at 5:30 at night. I mean, it's really
Right.
a lot harder to do some of the things that kind of relieved depression
Right.
now in the winter. And I'm not sure what kinds of things should people be doing to try and push through?
Well, I think just what you mentioned, I do think it's still important to exercise. If there's any way you can still squeeze even a little bit in, 5 or 10 minutes here or there in your basement, even if you can bundle up and it's safe for you to go out for a little bit of a walk, that can be an instant mood booster. And so we know that's good for us. So all those things that we have known forever that are good for us, taking care of ourselves, exercising, eating right, those are still important, but they're even more important now. But I think it's really important to emphasize that if you are doing all those things or struggling to get yourself to do them, and that struggle is really weighing you down, reach out for help. The help is out there. We have virtual services. We can do telehealth. So I think it's important that do all those things that you know are good for you, that will help you boost your mood and take care of yourself. But if those aren't working and you're feeling yourself really slip down deeper, then reach out for help, because it is there.
Yeah, I think about all this time everybody's spending in front of the TV. People are, texting, what else can I watch? I've watched everything there is. Is there value in turning off the TV? And if you're if you live in a family unit and you got kids, is it good to sit down and have family dinners together, or to play cards or board games or things like that instead of this TV heavy time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we burnt ourselves off on the Netflix shows and all of those series, I think that it's always been a good time to sit down and connect with family. And if there is any way we can kind of reframe the situation we're in now, it's that this is maybe forcing us to really take a look at what is important. And what is important are those connections that we have with family and friends. So now's the time that we can, shut that TV off and kind of say, you know what, I can sit down with you right now and we can play a game, or we can, call your grandma and have that conversation, or reach out to a friend. So I think if anything, that's the thing that we can take out of this time is really recognizing and focusing on what's important, and those connections are vitally important to the people in our lives, for sure.
I think of social media and time on your phone in front of that screen, and Twitter just burning up with bad news about COVID and the intensity of the election. I imagine it's probably important to just turn that off for periods of time as well.
Yeah, I think that, we get so almost numb to it because it's always on, maybe in the background, running on the radio when we're driving or whatever we're doing. And I think that we don't even realize sometimes the toll, the heaviness that this is taking on our mental health. So it is important to disconnect from it. We can stay informed, but we don't have to be informed 24/7. So I think it can really make a big difference, and we don't even realize the difference until we actually do disconnect for a little bit. And because we have had more time in front of the TV and things like that these last months, I think it's a really good idea and can really help our mental health to separate a little bit and get away from that TV time, the news, all of those things. It's not going to hurt us to disconnect. We can catch up real quick when we reconnect, for sure.
And if you live alone, you want to reach out to people. You don't want to just wait for the phone to ring. You want to reach out and connect as well.
Absolutely. I think that's, the next big crisis in all of this is the mental health crisis. We know that, 1 in 3 Americans are reporting an increase in having some mental health symptoms. So number one, if you're feeling that way, don't wait, reach out. But number two, all of us maybe take a moment and reach out to somebody who we think might be struggling and do a check-in with them as well.
All right, Jill Blackson, Deputy Director, Community Care Services. Thanks for being on the show today, and have a happy week.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, you bet. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more after we take a quick break and check in with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
Looking at an earlier accident, let's start with the closure. Accident still blocking the 96 eastbound ramp. That off ramp is closed. A 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound. Rollover accident there. 96 eastbound at Novi Road. Accident is blocking that right shoulder. And seeing construction slowing down traffic. 75 northbound between Grand River and 375. The right lane is closed. That's a daily work, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. through Thursday, seeing brake lights there. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Cold air sticks around. It's a pretty chilly morning, but the winds are starting to back down. Still a light breeze. Sunshine this afternoon, 44. Passing clouds tonight, 28. Suburbs colder. Tomorrow, a few clouds around low 40s. Friday, a mix of clouds and sunshine with highs in the low 40s. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage-Account, News Talk 760 WJR.
Every day we face new changes and challenges. Sometimes it's hard to just keep up. If you need a hand with your energy bill, Consumers Energy is here to help with flexible payment options. They also have programs to lower your energy use and monthly bill. For more information, visit consumersenergy.com/assistance. You can also call 211 or visit mi211.org. That's mi211.org to see how other agencies and organizations can help. You can count on Consumers Energy.
Join us for your favorite rock holiday tradition this season as Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings an electrifying 90-minute performance of its beloved album, Christmas Eve and Other Stories, directly into your home. This live stream event will take place on December 18th and features the story of the music that started it all. But don't worry, we didn't forget about the lasers. Head to our website now to buy your ticket.
What if I told you that you could replace your windows, your roof, and your siding for just $6 a day? I didn't say windows, roof, or siding for $6 a day. I said all three, windows, roof, and siding, for just $6 a day. It's true. Just call Performance Remodeling at 586-540-6000 or online at windowsroofingsiding.com. You might be thinking, I don't need all three, windows, roofing, and siding. No problem. Just windows, $2. Just a roof, $2. Just siding, $2. It's so incredibly inexpensive that anyone can afford it. Anyone, including you. We can do this because we have the best financing partners on the planet. Our quality and workmanship is the best in Michigan. We are the only company that offers a true full lifetime guarantee on every window, roof, and siding job we install. No fine print, no loopholes, no gotchas. So for the best windows, roofing, and siding for just $6 a day for all three, call Performance Remodeling at 586-540-6000 or online at windowsroofingsiding.com.
The Inside Outside Guys wants to be your trusted resource for any and all of your housing needs. Hey, Chuck, a lot of the remodelers went to Congress to talk about the CARES Act.
Whoa. That sounds political.
It is political, but it has to do with housing too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics, housing only, listen every Saturday and Sunday to the Inside Outside Guys.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Sharon's Heating and Cooling.
Just as summer came fast and hot, winter will soon be here. Don't let your home comfort system give you an unwelcome surprise. Contact Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning for heating maintenance or a free in-home estimate on new Bryant equipment. Sharon's new location in Livingston County makes service and installation from Lansing to Westland a breeze. Schedule today at SharonsHeatingandAir.com. That's SharonsHeatingandAir.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Hey, who doesn't like to save a little money, especially at the holiday season? At our house, Black Friday was on the computer where it was easy to pop in and out of multiple websites and check different stores for different deals. We found some golf balls on one website they were $6 less than on another website. It was an easy $6 to make just by comparing online. It was pretty easy. Anyway, there are lots and lots of ways to save money during the holidays, and here to tell us how to do it and help us out is our friend Heidi Kassab, CEO, Cornerstone Community Financial. Heidi, thanks for being on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, so this is a topic I think that everybody can enjoy, a little upbeat opportunity to learn how to save a little money during the holidays. What are some of your favorite ways to save?
Well, we're really looking at 4 R's this holiday season as a way to save money. The first one is take a look at refinancing. Either refinance your vehicle or your mortgage. I think everyone sees where the rates are right now are the mortgages, and everyone's looking at, what rate are they at and where they can save some money. So if your auto loan or mortgage was with another lender, talk about refinancing with a lower rate. And if you finance your vehicle through a bank or dealership, trying to talk to your credit union right now and see where the rates are, because that money you might save in that refinance is more money in your pocket.
So as you think about that decision, there are some costs in refinancing. How do you know when it's worth it? How much of a savings would you need on your interest rate for, say, a car and then a house?
On a car, pretty much anything's going to save you money because there really isn't any cost you're going to incur. The lender is going to take care of that, especially at a credit union. They're going to take care of your title work and so forth. So any amount you're going to save, it's just probably the time that you're willing to invest. Pick up the phone, fill out the application. And, we've learned a lot, unfortunately, during this time, but everything can be done electronically. So every lender, including your friendly credit union, is going to send you something on your computer. You're going to sign electronically, and they're going to take care of the rest. So if you can save 10, 20, we've been able to save some people upwards of $50 to $100 a month just because they didn't do the research when they bought that car. It was an emotional decision. They walked in, it was shiny, it was new. They bought the car and they looked at maybe the payment amount, but not the rate behind it. So, now's the time to really take a look at that and refinance the car. The mortgage is a little bit different of a story that you have to do a little bit more research on.
And what is the rate on a car, the average rate right now, if people are checking what their current interest rate is?
That's always a little bit tougher of a question to answer. Most people are basing that sometimes on the age of the vehicle and your prior credit history. But your credit union is going to work with you, especially if you're trying to rebuild your credit. So if your credit score isn't where you want it to be, now is the time to work on that with your institution. Some rates are as low as 149 to 199, and you can refinance and save that money monthly to put towards maybe some holiday shopping.
Nice. That is refinancing R number 1. You said there were 4. What's number 2?
I like to say reevaluate. And I think this is the most important as we look at the year we've had and the year we're probably going to be getting into. But reevaluate your holiday gifting. In our family, we're just we're doing kids only gifting, because let's face it, gift giving for adults, we're just pretty much exchanging gift cards. So while the sentiment is nice, you can save everyone time and money by just buying gifts for the kids. And maybe, if you have some college students or so forth, but I think that's a really strong decision that we've made in our family. And I think it's going to work better for everyone. You can also consider maybe other traditions like Secret Santa, or maybe even a white elephant for adults if you don't want to forego the gifts, where you're just exchanging a name, and that way it's something a little bit more sentimental. Or maybe in place of exchanging gifts among the adults, what we've done is also in our family is we're adopting a family in need for the season. We're even doing that in my financial institution at CCF. We're actually foregoing Secret Santa this year. We're putting that money towards local families in all of where our branches are located to adopt a family. And we think that's something that is a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, I wonder how excited my college-age kids would be if they opened up their Christmas present and found that I just paid off one of their student loans instead of got them some clothes or something else.
They might not be excited now, but they will be one day. That is absolutely for sure.
Exactly. All right, give us number 3.
Rewards. Maybe switch your banking to accounts that earn rewards. Instead of using a debit card or a credit card for buying holiday gifts, or instead of using your debit card, maybe use a credit card, and then it'll limit your overspending. But don't miss out on some credit card rewards. I think a lot of us see cash back rewards, or if you use a debit card, there's also debit rewards. At Cornerstone, we even have a rewards checking account, which pays you a higher rate of interest. So look for things like that that's going to reward you for your shopping this holiday season, and also give you some protection against fraudulent purchases.
Of course, that only works if you pay off your entire credit card bill every month. Otherwise, you're going to end up paying interest and losing out on your deal.
Absolutely. And we always have to keep an eye on that. Or, sometimes take advantage of, after the holidays, a lot of institutions offer 0% interest cards to move your balance. Again, you have to keep an eye on it, because at the end, you want to make sure you pay that off.
And how is it getting easier to collect rewards? Sometimes, you'll get a credit card because of the rewards, and then you never really go back and cash in on them.
I always say look for the ones that aren't, the gifts or things like that you won't use. Look for ones that actually deposit money into your account quarterly or monthly, or look for accounts like we have at the credit union, which are called Roundup Rewards, where you're not really realizing it, but as you're spending, it's rounding your card up the next even dollar amount, and it puts it into a special account, and then sometimes they'll even pay you dividends on that. That way you're not really feeling or really having to put the effort into it, because I know during the holidays everything gets really busy and we forget those types of things.
And what is the 4th R?
This one's really important, and I think you were talking about it, is research. A lot of us are online shopping right now, and we have to be very careful what we're doing. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean it's a good deal. You definitely need to check around, and because it's online, we have that opportunity. Make sure you're buying from reputable sites, and make sure you're getting a good price, because now with us just being able to type something in the search engine, we assume that site we're going to is reputable, and we're typing in our personal information and our credit card data, and we have to really make sure that we're shopping in a place that's reputable.
Yeah, we talk a lot about scams out there and identity theft. You are much safer. I guess ultimately you can get your money back if you prove fraud, but it's a lot quicker and a lot easier on a credit card than a debit card, correct?
Actually, I think that's something that people, I think the credit card companies like you to think that, so they use your credit card, but they're actually the same. You're not responsible the same way you would be on a credit card as a debit card, because they're still backed by either a Visa or MasterCard or American Express logo. So as long as you have that, it really is the same. I think that's more of a sometimes a gimmick that they get you to use the card. As you mentioned, it's tougher to pay off the credit card than it is when you use a debit card, because it's money coming out of your account. Your institution really is looking out for you. And, on the websites now, more of it is just your personal identity that you're worried about, because the credit cards have gotten to be such a user-friendly, commodity in the industry that they're going to protect you. It's more the identity theft that we have to be really careful of where we're putting our information onto what sites.
Okay, so refinance, reevaluate, rewards, and research. I like it.
You got it. Yes.
All right. Heidi Kasab, CEO of Cornerstone Community Financial. Thanks for being on the show today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. You have a great day, and let's hope we all shop local and invest in our local communities.
That's right. And you can do that online by still going to your local stores, doing it online if you don't feel comfortable going out. And if you're comfortable going out, hit those local stores and let's keep them open. We appreciate all the information, Heidi. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, you too. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show on this Wednesday, December the 2nd. Right now, we're going to check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty this Christmas, things are desperate. Bring joy to a child when you make your special year-end gift to Compassion International. Just text GIFT to 83393. That's GIFT to 83393.
96 eastbound between Novi Road and 696 is still seeing slow traffic reported there because of that accident. 96 eastbound at Novi, it is blocking the right shoulder. 696 at eastbound ramp from 96 eastbound, that off ramp is closed due to a rollover accident. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Expecting lots of sunshine today, hopefully melting off some snow, a high of 41 tonight. Passing clouds, low 28. Same temp on Thursday, hitting 41, partly cloudy skies in the morning, then cloudy skies in the afternoon, a high of 41. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 3 minutes.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year. Call MediShare and find out just how much you would save by switching to MediShare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MediShare is a Christian community that shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is
now. You'll save even more. Call 844.
What's up?
Your next guest is already on hold.
Where have you been all morning? Where's all my, incredible research on crazy stories and things that I haven't heard of yet?
There hasn't been much crazy stories. I've been looking. There hasn't been much today. I've been searching. There was one story that I found kind of interesting, which was the embryo, the frozen embryo that was 27 years old, and the baby was born from the 27-year-old frozen embryo, and it broke a record. Yeah, says here that the Tennessee baby born from a 27-year-old frozen embryo breaks the record. So yeah, so that's the child was born on October 26th through an embryo adoption. So it broke the old record of the 24-year-old embryo from back in 2017.
That's good.
That baby's embryo dates back to 1992.
Ooh.
Setting the new known record for the longest frozen embryo ever to come to birth.
Where'd you find that?
That was in USA
Drudge?
Today.
USA.
No, it was in Drudge too, but it was also on USA Today. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
When you think of value.
Right.
Yeah. So, there's also a story about
so much political stuff out there.
Yeah. Apparently there's a story today about the McRib returns on Wednesday.
Today.
Today's McRib Day.
I love the McRib. I'm a big fan of the McRib.
McDonald's are giving away 10,000 free barbecue sandwiches for fans who shave.
What?
It says, how far would you go for a McRib? Let's see. It's.
What if you shave every day? Do you have to come in one day with a beard and then come back the next day?
It says that the fast food McDonald's is giving away 10,000 free sandwiches to hungry fans with its Shave for McRib sweepstakes. Beard or no beard, prepare for the McRib with a shave or even a facial mask because anyone can participate.
Oh, because November's over. November beard growing month is over. It's time to shave it off.
Apparently, you have to post a picture of your clean-shaven face on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag Shave for McRib Sweepstakes and tag McDonald's.
Wow.
Okay. First 10,000 entries will receive a code for a free McRib through the McDelivery with Uber Eats while supplies last.
I do not get to McDonald's very often, but if I ever get to McDonald's when the McRib is on, I get it.
You like the McRib, huh?
I don't even like it. I like the idea of it.
Are you also a fan of like the McDLT? Remember that?
I think so. I think I'm on board with that.
McDonald's had that for a little while.
Did you see David Geffen did a little house flip in Beverly Hills, a parcel for $34 million?
That I did not see.
That's the way to flip a house.
Heck yeah.
Don't mess around with these, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 profits. You just flip one for $33 million.
Crazy. Yeah, there wasn't.
Hopefully it's not near where the wildfires are.
My brother lives in San Rafael. Which is near Marin, San Francisco, and he couldn't go out of his house for like weeks because of the smoke in the air.
Wow.
So he wasn't able to even go outside.
Did you see the photo of Joe Biden out and about in his boot?
I did see that. Did I see also that there was a statement by the dog?
I don't know. There needs to be for sure.
Did Major put out a...
Did he throw Joe under the bus and say it was Joe's fault?
I don't know. I have to look that up and see if there was a statement from Major.
Baby born from 27-year-old embryo.
The scheme comes around the time when an outgoing president traditionally considers whom he will grant clemency to.
Let's see here. Doesn't say anything about if there was a statement from the dog.
LSD use in Marine ranks prompts testing at base.
Amazon and Ford are urging Biden to address global warming climate change by returning.
All right, so there's stuff out there. We've just been
Hewlett Packard, which put Silicon Valley on the map, is moving its headquarters from California to Houston.
Two dogs causing problems.
Get a big raise.
Hunter's the kid. Major and Champ.
Texas has
they have their own Twitter.
Yeah,
it's like Dogs of Dotus or something.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That's great.
Or Dotus was actually taken, but they did a similar off take of it.
Does he also have some cats too?
He's getting a cat, I believe.
So there'll be dogs and cats now in the White House.
Whoever has Dotus though is getting a lot of free hits on there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're coming back. Your guest is there.
And messaging rates may apply. It's the $25,000 workday payday on 760 WJR.
We get it. Life's changed. But McLaren Health Plan continues to keep you and your family healthy with free flu shots and virtual doctor visits. Stay safe and know that McLaren Health Plan is the right plan for right now.
I'm talking with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Josh Hunt, the Executive Vice President and Chief Business Development Officer, and Michelle Wildman, Senior Vice President for Community Development. Michelle, in general, what is the MEDC?
The MEDC is the lead agency responsible for marketing Michigan, fostering relationships, attracting businesses to the state, and supporting vibrant, diverse, and sustainable communities.
So, Josh, for businesses that are considering branching out, why should they choose Michigan?
Businesses should choose Michigan for our pure Michigan quality of life. We have a diverse and abundant workforce. We have a business-friendly environment and are close to global supply chain assets. Here in Michigan, we make things, and there's no better place to bring in product than right here in Michigan.
And the MEDC has a list of programs that help accomplish that mission. Michelle, what is the RRC?
Our Redevelopment Ready Communities program, which is a voluntary, no-cost certification program, promotes effective redevelopment strategies that provide formal recognition that a community has a vision for the future that makes it right for future development.
And Josh, that's just one tool in the toolbox, isn't it?
We have a carefully cultivated set of tools and programs, whether it's from entrepreneurship and innovation efforts or access to capital. We provide the tools that companies need to grow. We also support economic growth through our Michigan Business Development Program to help attract highly competitive projects to create good jobs here in Michigan.
Learn more about the MEDC at michiganbusiness.org.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Thanks for stopping by the Paul W. Smith Show, where Detroit comes to talk. We're also on Facebook Live this morning and YouTube. The sun is out, but it's still a little chilly, about 30 degrees. I just checked my daily steps on my phone app. Now, typically I average about 9,000 steps a day, through the month of November, through the past couple of months. And then I just checked what was yesterday on a snowy, cold day here in Michigan, and I had 1,710 steps. So I was off about 7,500 steps. Not good. The difference, the weather. It was nice in November, very ugly yesterday. And I'm a little worried about being destined here to gain weight from now until March. So we've called in one of the experts to tell us how we can still exercise when the weather is cold and nasty. And joining us now is Kelly McLeod, the manager of Gazelle Sports. Kelly, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm probably not the only one who went from about 9,000 steps to 2,000 steps when the snow hit yesterday.
Oh, not at all. We have a ton of new walkers and runners coming into our store looking for gear. It's actually pretty inspiring and exciting.
So what is the secret if you're, especially with COVID, a lot of the gyms have a lot of restrictions. Some are closed down. It's not as many people are comfortable going to the gym where it's warmer. Mm-hmm. What do you do when the weather turns and you still want to exercise?
Yeah, I mean, more people are turning outdoors, and it was easy in the warmer weather, but now as it gets colder, we say there's no bad weather, just bad gear. So I think the best thing is to, dress in layers, keep your body moving, get out there, and definitely just make sure that you are properly dressed.
Yeah, I was amazed. We had gone out for a walk on a chillier day recently, and we just the difference in wearing a hat and gloves made a huge difference. And I imagine the same must be for footwear and also just for safety. You think about slipping on the ice, or how important is getting the right foot gear if you're walking or running?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first off, you nailed it on the head. You want to protect your hands and your feet because you can lose a lot of body heat through your hands and your feet, cold extremities. So you want to make sure you have proper gloves on that will, pull wicking moisture away from your hands. Mittens are the best. But for feet, having the right shoe is everything. You want to make sure you have the right tread that's appropriate for slick weather. We could also add something like nano spikes to the bottom of your feet to really help kind of grit in if there's those icy patches. A lot of people don't think about socks and the importance of socks and layering socks. Keeping a dry wicking sock liner underneath like a polar fleece or a wool sock will make sure you keep your feet warm. Very important.
Nano spikes is like snow tires for your car.
Yeah, absolutely. They're awesome. And, you can also even, a lot of people will come in and they will purchase a shoe that's appropriate for trail runners, that it has that little bit of extra grit on the bottom, and they'll wear those during their winter walking or winter run outside in the road, their neighborhoods. It can help a lot.
Now, I know a lot of people this time of year will go and buy some home exercise equipment to try and work out indoors. Do you guys end up selling a lot of gear and supplies for people who are new to these bikes and treadmills and things that people are buying and setting up in their houses?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If working out outside in the cold isn't your thing and you've set up a in-home gym or you're doing things inside, we have the right gear for you as well. But we have some lighter materials, running shorts, tank tops, all of that, and absolutely the appropriate shoes that you can wear indoors on treadmills. We're excited to talk to people about their fitness journey, and we'll make sure they're in the right gear, 100%.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about hot Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, and do you guys have certain things that you really have to stock up on at the holidays because they're hot and everybody wants to get it as the perfect gift?
Oh, yeah. We have these really cool bone condensing headphones called Aftershocks. It's amazing. So they're headphones that don't actually go in your ears. They rest on the outside, so it keeps you safe when you're outside walking around. You can still hear the traffic that's going on around you. Those have been a huge seller. Also, Gooder sunglasses. It sounds like it's a funny time to buy sunglasses, but there's the glare of the snow and people want to polarize sunglasses. They're only $25. It's an awesome stocking stuffer. They're amazing.
Yeah, every time I'm driving around a college campus, I think about that. And there's all these kids with these headphones, and they're looking at their cell phones, and everybody's out on foot. And I'm like, my goodness, this is a recipe for disaster. But yeah, it's great that the technology is getting better, that you're able to hear outside noise and distractions so that you're aware while you're walking. And I guess with the cold weather, people probably aren't on their phones as much when they're outside going for a walk. So that's probably a little safer too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there's a lot of popular gifts also, like you said, for people who want to stay indoors. Some recovery tools, foam rollers, Theragun massagers. A lot of us aren't just walking and running. We're doing yoga, we're doing weightlifting, we're doing whatever we can to stay active. And sometimes those recovery tools can make a huge difference as well.
And if you just want to stay indoors and not exercise and not do anything until the spring, you can always get a gift card, I guess.
You can always get a gift card, or you can get the most comfortable pair of lounging pants. We also have things for loungers as well. We don't discourage that.
So you have everything the serious exerciser needs, and if you're just sort of a casual exerciser, just want to look the part, you got them covered as well.
Yeah. Well, we encourage movement of any kind, and if it's just from the couch to the fridge, we'll help gear you up for that as well. But we definitely think any kind of movement is gonna just help us get through this crazy difficult time. So we're excited to kind of help you in whatever your journey is.
Can we find you online, or do we have to come to the store?
Oh no, well, we have 5 locations, but you can also find us online at gazellesports.com.
That's awesome. All right, Kelly McLeod, manager of Gazelle Sports. Thanks for being on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
All right, get out there and exercise. 30 degrees, sunny day. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. It's Wednesday, December 2nd. We'll be right back after we check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Don't take chances with COVID-19 and your family's health. Use the Exergen Temporal Scanner to check temperatures before dinner and before you leave home. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the #1 thermometer recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen.
Well, an accident that was out there, didn't even report it, is already gone. 75 northbound after Grand River. That accident is clear. Our earlier accident, 96 eastbound at Novi Road, that is also clear. And good news, the off-ramp along 96 eastbound ramp to 696 eastbound, that has reopened, seeing delays from at least Novi Road. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Real good looking hump day. A few clouds around, otherwise blue sky. Staying chilly, but slightly above normal on a west breeze, 44. Passing clouds tonight, 28. Suburbs a tad cooler. Tomorrow, some clouds, 42. Friday, clouds, sunshine with a high near 42. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on News.
WJR. Hey, this year, we've all been taking actions to keep
Kevin.
ourselves.
Hey.
Happy birthday. Wow.
Aw, thanks.
Wow. How old are we today?
We are 56 today.
56 today.
It's 33, 35.
Well, very nice. Your next guest is ready to go.
Cool.
the flu shot.
So what do you got special planned for your birthday today?
I was thinking about taking Dick Hafner's advice and taking that 2-hour nap he was talking about this morning. That sounds pretty good.
You're gonna take a 2-hour nap.
I was going to have my producer completely book tomorrow's show so that I could.
It's almost booked. It's almost. Yeah, we're pretty far along.
Yeah, good. That's awesome.
Did you get your package yesterday?
You know, I forgot to ask if it came. I'll have to go research that after the show here and see if we got that or not. I imagine so, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll have to report back to you on that. Nobody reported to me that it came. So
okay.
And give it a shot. Learn more at
Well,
all right, we'll get ready for Joe.
All right, hang tight. We'll be coming back here in a couple minutes.
All right.
Flu.
Thank you, everybody.
Original Murdoch's Fudge is delivering fudge to your door now, direct from the Straits of Mackinac. It's time to say happy holidays to your clients, friends, and family with a holiday treat. Give the sweetest made-in-Michigan treat, Original Murdoch's Fudge. Place your order now for sweet savings. Order now online. OriginalMurdochsFudge.com. That's OriginalMurdochsFudge.com.
What's the perfect holiday gift this holiday season? Untucked shirts. They're the comfortable, easy-to-wear styles every guy loves. And there's never been a better time to buy because everything in Untucked is on sale right now. Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel comfortable. Who wouldn't love to unwrap one of our iconic wrinkle-free button-downs, super soft flannels, and our famous polos? So don't wait. Our holiday sale is the best time to find the perfect shirt at untucked.com or at 80-plus Untucked stores. Untucked, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
You know what's not healthy? Stressing about work, or maybe you're out of work. Stop. Hit reset. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. Financial aid, including the GI Bill, is available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hi, Frank Beckman here. And as you know, I've had a neck issue pop up once again. I woke up, my neck just wasn't right one day. So I called my friends at the Restore Wellness Center, and I was able to get in right away. What I really love about the Restore Wellness Center, besides that it helps relieve my pain when I go there, is I feel safe when I'm there. They've got enhanced safety and screening protocols in place. They've got them right there when you arrive, and their offices are cleaned and sanitized for the safety of everybody, their employees and you. Their technicians go through extensive training across the country, and they're the only manufactured, trained, and certified laser specialists here in Michigan. At the Restore Wellness Center, they relieve pain from chronic conditions like arthritis, tendonitis, muscle strain, and a whole lot more. So don't just deal with the pain and sit around waiting for it to go away. Get rid of it. Call the largest, most experienced laser treatment center in Michigan. Receive your first treatment free. Locations in Bloomfield, Brighton, and Shelby Township. Call 800-935-5959 or visit RestoreWellnessCenter.com. Restore Wellness Center. What do you need restored?
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
What comes to mind when you think of a saint? Is it a preacher on TV, the Pope, the person serving soup at a homeless shelter? Could it be the person sitting in the next cubicle to you at work? Did you know there are approximately 10,000 saints and nearly 90% are priests or nuns? Half of the 10,000 come from Italy, which is where the Vatican is. The United States has just 7 saints, and only 2 of them were born in America. Oh, and 1 saint from France is a dog. Our next guest is the author of The Saint Makers. New York Times journalist and best-selling author Joe Drape takes us inside the modern-day process of making a saint. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Kevin, thanks for having me this morning.
I really am excited to get a hold of your book and hear from you today. This is really interesting to me. Are the people in Italy more holy than the rest of the world, or do they just live closer to the decision makers?
It's the home field advantage, Kevin. I am a sports writer, and I recognize these things.
That's right. That's right. I was at the Vatican for the first time ever a year ago right now, and it was an incredible experience. I really enjoyed being over there and having that opportunity. But it's interesting, I'm a Catholic. I go to church, and I hear my priest say that there's saints all around us. They're regular people doing good things, service for others, and yet they're not all given sainthood. What have you discovered in this journey of this book about how saints are made?
Your priest is absolutely right. Anybody in heaven is considered a saint. But the formal process of canonizing a candidate for sainthood is kind of evolved more into marketing in a PR realm. For lack of a better term, saints are the Catholic Church's superheroes. They're people who have lived lives that are worth imitating, but just as important, they're relatable. We see some of ourselves in them. And I kind of told the story through a military chaplain from Kansas named Father Emil Capon. And he won the Medal of Honor. He saved hundreds of lives without ever carrying a weapon. And now there is a push to get him recognized to be the first male American saint. All the other saints are women. And to be somebody that appeals to the heartland and to every man in America. And so I've tracked his cause, and they call them causes through there. And what I found is it's a lot like running for office. You need a ground game. It's a little political. You kind of have to be at the right place at the right time. And we saw it recently with a young Italian teenager, Carl Acutis, just got beatified, which is the step right before becoming a full-blown saint. And he was from Italy, and he was a computer genius who went viral for hunting down miracles. And he died tragically of leukemia in 2006. Now, the average time for a candidate's death to being canonized is 181 years. He's already at the doorstep in barely 13 years. And that says, and I'm sure his cause is very worthy, but I think that says more about the church being able to come out and say, hey, we got a millennial tech-savvy saint, and that brings in a new demographic.
Yeah, it is interesting to watch. I think Mother Teresa moved through the process faster than most, and others have as well. But typically, it takes a very long time, as you just pointed out, and it can be very expensive too. I'm curious about why it ends up costing so much to get through this process.
Well, anybody who's ever had to deal with a lawyer can understand it a little bit. Most of the money, and this Father Capon's cause is at about $600,000 now. Some go up to $1 million. And what happens in the process is you have to hire canon lawyers, and they're lawyers who know the canon code. I'm going to butcher that word. and here's the process. First of all, in my case, a priest in Kansas, another country priest in Kansas, went and spent 13 years compiling 8,600 pages on Father Capon, testimony to his piety, to his battlefield bravery, his writings, all kinds of things. Then he turns it over to a canon lawyer who whittles that down to a brisk 500-page, basically story of his life. And then it kicks into the Vatican process. You have historians from all over the world. They look at it in the historical context. Is it accurate? Is it authentic? That's panel one. Panel two are the theologians, religious experts, not all of them Catholic. They're looking at it as well. So that costs money. They bring them into Rome. They sit and they talk. They have to ship these things all over the place. Once that's done, the really hard part starts. You open a cause, you become venerated, but then you got to prove two miracles. And the first miracle, and a miracle in the Catholic Church is some remarkable recovery that defies medical or scientific explanation. The second element is you have to prove that recovery came because your family, your friends, your community prayed to, in this case, Father Capon, and asked him to intercede. And by the fact that this person recovered, it shows Father Capon has pull with God, that he is in heaven and he is saintly. And, that's what takes a long time. So first of all, you got to go out and identify these miracles. And in Father Capon's case, there's a pole vaulter in Kansas who missed the pit, cracked his skull in half, was basically left for dead, and just came back from it. And there's a young 12-year-old youth soccer player, a little girl named Avery Gerlman, who was basically in a coma for 77 days, nobody knew what was wrong with her. They took her off ventilators and kidney machines, thinking that was it. And all of a sudden, she's well again. So those are the things that take a lot of time.
Has your research impacted either positively or negatively your own faith?
Absolutely, Kevin. And I guess that was the good epiphany for me. This is something I worked on for 7-8 years, and I was struggling with, I had a great story about the process. I had a great life to document, but I was not really connecting well with the material. And, it set me off to figure out why that was. And like you, I'm Catholic, parochial and Jesuit educated. And among my search, I came to a Jesuit priest named James Martin, who's a writer and editor and somewhat famous in his own right. And we had lunch, and he said, "You pray." And again, I'm a sports writer, and I told him, "Yeah, but it's kind of like I'm a golfer who has the yips on the putts." And, I wasn't connecting. And so he said, "Do you pray to Father Capon?" And I just kind of hit me over the head. It had never occurred to me to pray to the guy I was spending all this time with. And so it really did, and I'm not saved, and I'm not going to pretend I'm saved, but what it has done is it made me more present and being able to work and having a spiritual life.
That's an amazing story. So yeah, and because it's not everyone has $1 million to do it, I think our best goal is to live a life that gets us into heaven. Then we'll automatically be saints. Joe Drape, author of The Saint Makers, thanks for being on our show today.
Kevin, thanks for having me.
All right, have a great week. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We will be back with more after we check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Don't take chances with COVID-19 and your family's health. Use the Exergen Temporal Scanner to check temperatures before dinner and before you leave home. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the #1 thermometer recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen.
Looking at construction delays along 75 northbound between Grand River and 375. The right lane is closed. That's daily work, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. through Thursday. Traffic is backed up from the Lodge. A 30-minute delay for trucks across the Ambassador Bridge southbound between the U.S. and Canada. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy. Guernsey Farms Dairy is celebrating 80 years of serving Michigan and wants to wish you a happy holidays. Enjoy the Guernsey Farms Dairy award-winning dairy products and special holiday eggnog this season at your local grocer or their newly remodeled store and restaurant in Northville. Visit GuernseyFarmsDairy.com to order carryout. Looking for lots of sunshine today, a high of 41 tonight, a few passing clouds, your low 28. Partly cloudy on Thursday, 41 once again, more cloudy in the afternoon. Also hitting 41 on Friday. Sunshine, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
I'm John Ezzo, CEO and founder of New Image Building Services. The C-suite knows what business disruption from COVID-19 has done to the bottom line, and you can't afford to have it happen again because of lack of cleanliness and disinfection. Join other Michigan blue chip businesses who have partnered with New Image Building Services to keep their facilities safe, clean, and fully operational. Let's design a plan for your business today.
Call New Image Building Services at 586-465-4420 or visit newimagebldg.com. WJR honors our 2020 class of women who lead. 12 outstanding female leaders making a difference in the Great Lakes region. Listen Friday morning as Paul W. Smith talks with this year's honorees about their contributions to the growth and success of our community. Sponsored by General Motors.
You can call number
So Kevin, so who are these people that are wishing you happy birthday here?
Yeah, I got to give a couple shout outs. There, Fran Dietz, that's my mom. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
And then there's...
She let the secret out, it looks like. Mike, I appreciate that, Mike. And Mark, who's with us every morning, appreciate it. Suzanne is my sister. I have 6 brothers and sisters. So
okay.
I'll be getting some texts and phone calls and Facebook wishes and all kinds of good stuff. Few Facebook Live shout outs. That's a first for me. I've never had a Facebook Live birthday shout out.
There you go.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. I should have put little balloons on the back of my chair. A little hat.
Yeah.
Little birthday hat.
Yeah, you should have had some kind of birthday banner in the background or something.
Right.
That
can you put my address up here so they can send money?
Yeah, right. Sure. So there is a rare piece of personal computing history that's going up for auction in a Boston-based auction house, and it's a fully functional Apple I computer with its original box signed by designer Steve Wozniak.
Wow, how old would that be about?
So that was they designed it back in 1976. They built 200 of these, and they sold 175 of them.
Wow.
And the bidding, cool. How much do you think the bidding starts at for this computer?
$300,000.
Actually starts at $50,000.
$50,000, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. People in that industry have so much money that if they wanted that, I would jack that price up and see if,
right.
One of the big. I watched a documentary the other day with my daughter. It was on the Pixar company, and Steve Jobs was part of.
Yes,
that.
He was.
And it was a really good documentary. It was really good. I got to watch more of those. I got to just drift off and find more documentaries like that. We really enjoyed that one in particular. It was good.
Yeah, he's my hero. I mean, he was involved with Atari at one point.
And he got in early and lost a lot of money before he made a lot of money on these, and a lot of these things never would have happened without him.
Yeah.
WJR Studio.
All right, I'm gonna go and
you have to call her, right?
Yep. Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, Mark, you're right.
And that the General Assembly acted without authority.
A truck driver says he brought in pallets of ballots on election night from New York, where Biden had a huge margin over Trump, to Pennsylvania, where the election results were close. Federal prosecutors are looking into a possible scheme that may have aimed to send campaign money to the White House in exchange for a presidential pardon. Joe Biden, meantime, has unveiled his economic advisors and key economic priorities.
President-elect Joe Biden praised the economic advisors that he says will help America come back from the devastation caused by the coronavirus pandemic. He also laid out his top priorities in terms of his focus for his first year in office.
It's time to invest in infrastructure, clean energy, climate change, manufacturing, and so much more that will create millions of good-paying jobs.
The Biden economic team will be led by Janet Yellen, who formerly served as Fed chair and, if confirmed, would serve as Secretary of the Treasury. Yellen is considered a pragmatist and is likely to receive broad bipartisan support. In Wilmington, Delaware, with the president-elect, John Decker, Fox News.
World Market Update is sponsored by Mother Waddles. Donate your car to Mother Waddles and help the poorest of the poor. Call 313-WADDLES. Asian markets are mixed. London is up right now. The Dow futures are down 129. For WJR News, I'm Dick Hafner. More coming up with Kevin Dietz.
Hey, this year, we've all been taking actions to keep ourselves and our loved ones healthy, like wearing a face covering and minimizing contact with others whenever we're out in public. And now that flu season is upon us, my friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan want to remind everyone that there's never been a more important time to get the flu shot. It's a smart, safe, and simple way to protect yourself as well as everyone around you by keeping people healthy from seasonal illnesses like the flu. We can reduce the strain placed on healthcare resources and allow healthcare workers to continue to focus their efforts in the fight against COVID-19. So, this flu season, give it a shot. You can get one at your doctor's office or, like I did, at a participating pharmacy. There also may be additional resources available within your community or through your place of employment. Plus, if you are lucky enough to be a Blue Cross or Blue Care Network member, you can get a flu shot at no cost. So, help do your part in keeping everyone in Michigan healthy and give it a shot. Learn more at bcbsm.com/preventflu. That's bcbsm.com/preventflu.
When you're diagnosed with something as serious as cancer, you can feel alone. That's why at the Henry Ford Cancer Institute, we're all for being at your side to guide you through every step of your journey. And we're all for doing it with an entire team specializing in your cancer, united to fight with you. From the first meeting, your team works as one to create a plan that's unique to you with the most advanced treatments available, because we're all for innovation through collaboration, especially when it brings the best doctors and technology together. We know the importance of personalized care and a team that understands what you're going through. That's why the Henry Ford Cancer Institute is all for delivering both, virtually or in person, in locations throughout Southeast and South Central Michigan. Henry Ford Health System, all for you. Learn more about our team-based approach to care at henryford.com/cancer.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Well, us news guys, we're always flipping through our phones, looking at headlines of different stories and studies, looking for things that are interesting to bring to your attention. I'm always a sucker for those coffee is good for you, then the next day coffee is bad for you, a glass of wine is good for you, a glass of wine is bad for you. Well, today there's a study out that I had not heard of before, or maybe you had not either, but this is a story about hot chocolate, which according to this particular study is good for you. How about that? Joining us now is the president of Amplify, a health and wellness company, Laura Hardy. Welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show.
Hey, thank you very much for having me on.
So, Laura, I don't know anyone who doesn't like hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is terrific. But a lot of people will pass on it, maybe perhaps of the calories or something along those lines. But maybe this is an incentive to say yes to the hot chocolate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the reason that it's good for you is because of the flavonols. So you can find flavanol in a lot of different fruits and vegetables as well as in cocoa. But the thing that makes it so exciting about hot chocolate being good for you is because, just like you said, who doesn't like hot chocolate? Especially if you're going to be doing something that you need more brain power. What we've discovered is that what it does is it increases your oxygenation flow to your brain. So since your brain and your gut are connected, then that can only help you with activities such as, going and taking tests. So for your kids, before they go to school, giving them some hot chocolate to help them with their cognitive function would be really ideal.
So I've not heard of flavanol, I guess. The fact that it's a brain boosting compound, I like that. There's a lot of situations where you want to be on the top of your game, and why not have a hot chocolate for that? Does all chocolate do that for you, or is it different as a liquid?
So dark chocolate has more flavanols in it than milk chocolate per se. But, like I said, flavanol it's found in many other things as well. So if you don't like hot chocolate or anything like that, there are other options. But basically what flavanol is a powerful antioxidant. So it helps protect the body's healthy cells against like stress, cigarette smoke, environmental toxins. It has been known to decrease heart disease, reduces different types of cancer, lowers your bad cholesterol, your LDL, and, it supports brain function. So other places you can find it are such as like green tea, kale, broccoli, onions, all kinds of berries, apples, and arugula. One key thing to really realize is that when you're cooking your fruits and vegetables, if it starts to lose its color, then it's losing the flavanol. So you really want to maintain the color integrity of your fruits and vegetables and things, but having something in cocoa, especially during this holiday season time coming up, then it just makes it that extra warm, fuzzy feeling, knowing that you're getting some extra brain support.
Now, I'm going to imagine in my mind right now a hot cup of hot chocolate, and now I want you to list off all those other ways to get Flavanol. I'm gonna listen for any that I would rather have than hot chocolate right now. Let's hear them again.
Exactly. So you can find it in green tea, kale, broccoli, onions, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, apples, arugula.
Nope.
See, I didn't think so. I think hot cocoa is for the win.
I think you are onto something, and it's not just brain power. There's actually other health benefits to it, which is interesting. Is there any concern about calories from dark chocolate per se that would offset the advantages of getting Flavanol through chocolate?
I think more so it would be the calories and stuff like that. So I think if you could change your story as far as how we prepare hot chocolate, and maybe use some different healthier alternatives. So instead of using, like whole milk, use almond milk or coconut milk. Maybe instead of using sugar, use like stevia or some honey or, maple syrup or something like that to give it the sweeter taste. But really, having cocoa in the rawest, purest form is the best for you for optimal health function. But it all starts with, your gut. You got to have a healthy gut to be able to have, good brain-gut connection. And so as long as we're working on bettering that and helping our body work optimally, then, I think a couple extra calories might be all right. Everything in moderation, right?
So I don't want to end this on a downer, but with all this good wonderful thoughts about hot chocolate and Flavanol, I'm going to guess there's not a lot of Flavanol in the mini marshmallows and the whipped cream that goes on top.
We could pretend. But no, I am sad to say that there's actually not. But you know what? A little bit doesn't hurt.
All right. Well, I did not know that hot chocolate was good for me, and I am going to be saying yes to hot chocolate a lot more often. And I will see if it helps my brain power any, and I'll report back to you next time we have you on. Thanks for being on the show this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. We appreciate it. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We have much more coming up, and we will check traffic and weather right now with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Traffic First also sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Construction delays along 75 northbound between Grand River and 375. The right lane is closed. That's daily work, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. through Thursday. Seeing stop and go traffic through there. Also, the Ambassador Bridge, a 30-minute backup for trucks traveling southbound between the U.S. and Canada. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. Shop Karastan's luxury vinyl floors exclusively at Reamer Floors. The luxury vinyl floors by Karastan are better than nature intended. Shop from home at reamerfloors.com or shop in-store by appointment. Reamer Floors on Telegraph in Bloomfield Hills.
Enjoy the sunshine now, and sunshine's in the forecast as we head through the day. Clear sky to start, cold, sunshine 44 later on a west breeze. Tonight, some clouds 28, suburbs colder. Tomorrow, a few clouds around low 40s. Friday, clouds and sunshine with highs again in low 40s. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Recently, WJR filmed a very informative.
All right, so before you go take your nap, make sure you get some hot chocolate, Kevin.
I know I enjoyed that. I'm going to be saying yes to hot chocolate more often. I don't have to use my brain anymore very often, but I could see moms, dads getting up early making hot chocolate before kids head off to school, or a little hit of hot chocolate at college before the big exam.
There you go. So this story, Kev, you'll enjoy. This is from Ontario, Canada, and their police department shared photos of this vehicle that was being pulled over and impounded because the driver was found to be sitting. Are you ready for this? The driver took out the driver's seat, and he was in a folding lawn chair with an inoperable seatbelt driving this car.
So why would you do that on purpose? Just take out the chair, put a lawn chair, give you more room.
I have no idea why it was like that.
I'd be afraid of stopping and starting and just flipping over the lawn chair.
The license plates were removed. The car was towed. The driver was summoned to court for unsafe vehicle and seatbelt inoperative. Hashtag road safety.
Maybe a beanbag chair would be better.
Yeah.
Is Frank joining us today?
Yep. He will be ready for you. What a great story. Lawn chair. Interesting.
Giving tips and advice on home appliances and helping consumers for 36 years. Joe Gannon is the appliance doctor on the Home and Appliance Show. Weekend morning 6 to 8 on News Talk 760 WJR.
WJR has partnered with Toys for Tots to collect toys for the annual toy drive. COVID-19 has left families out of work.
All right, we'll be coming back here.
Before. We're asking for toys to help make sure kids still have something to open this Christmas. Drop off a new unwrapped toy Saturday, December 5th and Sunday, December 6th from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. at Nino Salvaggio's in Clinton Township or Home Depot in Woodhaven. For more information, including other ways to donate, visit WJR.com.
Ho, ho, ho! Everyone knows that Kris Kringle is the Santa of the North Pole, but here in Michigan, Mother Waddles plays the role of Santa to thousands of needy families year-round. In fact, Mother Waddles has been helping the poorest of the poor for over 60 years. And now you can become one of Mother Waddles' elves by donating your card today. But time is running out. You must donate your card before December 31st if you want that year-end Blue Book value tax deduction as a stocking stuffer. So if you have an extra card and you're considering donating it, call Mother Waddles at 313-WADDLES and tell them that you want to be one of Mother Waddles' elves. That number again is 313-WADDLES, or you can donate your card online at motherwaddles.org. And on behalf of the Mother Waddles mission, we wish everyone a very blessed holiday season.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Well, U.S. Attorney General William Barr said the Justice Department had found no evidence of voter fraud on a level that would affect the outcome of the election. President Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, is in Michigan to say otherwise today. And here to help us talk about that and other things is our friend Frank Beckman. Frank, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, well, despite the lack of family around us, it was good. Just the household, those of us in the household were here, stayed safe, and had a very, very nice Thanksgiving. Hope
Did you get the grandkids on the Zoom or in person?
Just on a Zoom, yeah.
So that's a nice way.
We're very, very careful with them, as you might expect. A couple of 2-year-olds and a 4-year-old. That's nothing to take a chance with.
No, absolutely. It's also nice if they start to get into their terrible twos and start having some tantrums. You could just close your computer and turn them off.
That's also true.
So you've had Rudy Giuliani on your show several times. What do you make of his visit to Michigan today?
I'm not surprised. He's been unable to make his case in court so far on behalf of the president, but he will take this to the legislature and try to convince them to do a little more research into the way the election was run here in Michigan and to investigate whether there was indeed any fraud at the polling places. And what we heard from down at TCF Center, for instance, it was somewhat troubling. People weren't allowed to watch, but you also understood that, they needed to keep some sense of control in there, those who were running the election and the count. And so they didn't want too many people interrupting that. So there's two sides to every story as well, we say, Kev, and I'm not sure that it's that easy to come up with a solution as to which side is right here and which side is telling a little tale, but the president's been able to prove anything yet. We'll see if Rudy can do it before the committee in Lansing today.
Yeah, it seems to me that, because we've had these inconsistencies or irregularities over and over again, that it makes sense to take a look whether it can overturn the election or not, to find out if we're able to, once and for all, what the disconnect is, why we're not able to get matching numbers, and just so voters feel good about casting their votes.
Yeah, what's the matter with demanding, success and excellence? There's nothing wrong with that. That's how we live in this country.
So yesterday, the governor had a big press conference and talked about $100 million in stimulus money here in the states and asking the legislature for it. The feds are working on a bill, or they have a bill talking about $900 billion. What do you think? Do you wait on the federal money, or do you act right now? I mean, we're going to have a huge deficit in Michigan anyway of about $1 billion. Does another $100 million matter, or does it all matter?
Yeah, $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, and pretty soon you got some money piling up. No, I'm not sure what we'll get into that a little bit with Pete Lucido, the state senator and the Senate Majority Whip, and find out what the mood is. He'll also be chairing that Oversight Committee hearing today with Rudy Giuliani testifying, so that'll be interesting. Outgoing Congressman Paul Mitchell is going to be with us about that stimulus bill you mentioned in Washington, and we'll get some answers from him. He has accepted the results of the election with Joe Biden the winner, but his successor, Lisa McClain, has not. She says that she still believes Donald Trump's good. So it's an interesting dichotomy there between a pair of Republicans.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. It seems like there's still some people who feel like somehow this case is going to get to the U.S. Supreme Court, and somehow there could be some decision on a massive number of mail-in votes, different than all these little specific instances of irregularities and problems that have been reported, something more broad and wide. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it seems like there is a group of people, including the president, who seem to still say, hey, we're still fighting this thing. We think we're going to turn this thing around. But you're right. Most people are kind of moving on and thinking that the courts aren't going to see it Donald Trump's way, and are preparing for a Joe Biden presidency.
Yeah, and that's something else we'll talk about with Paul Mitchell, the congressman from the 10th District, who concedes Joe Biden's the winner, Lisa McClain his successor in that role as congressperson from the 9th District. She does not believe, or 10th District, I mean, she does not believe that Joe Biden has won. So there's still that going on as well. We'll talk about that this morning and a whole lot more. Patrick Anderson will be here to talk about all that money. You think about it, $908 billion stimulus package they're talking about in Washington, and $100 million we're talking about here that the governor wants the legislature to approve. Pretty soon it's going to be a lot of money. Patrick Anderson will sort it all out for us.
Those grandkids of yours are going to get stuck with a pretty big bill because of all our stimulus spending.
They're going to be working overtime, you bet.
It's going to be tough. Did you check out any of the MSU Duke game by any chance? Their state is off to a 3-0 start. They beat Notre Dame. That was exciting. They took care of Duke on the road last night. They look like a fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, Tom Izzo's got something going on there. I think that team's going to get better as the season goes along. And that's a big, big win because Michigan State doesn't win at Duke, as you know.
Yeah, I think maybe he was down with COVID for a while, and he was on the show, and he said, well, he was just going to watch a lot of tape. He was going to spend all his time looking at tape, and maybe that's paying off. He figured out a way to beat Notre Dame, figured out a way to beat Duke, and they got a couple more tough games ahead of them. I think they still got Virginia in front of them.
Well, we'll just pray that they keep playing and that they're not affected by the virus negatively. And, now that we're seeing the CDC advisory panel talking about who gets first priority for the shots, for the vaccines, I think that's a sign of progress, don't you, Kev?
Yeah, I do, and I was a little surprised, I guess, that more weren't going to people staying in senior centers, which would seem to save lives immediately if the seniors in the senior centers got them. But these first responders need them, and there's not enough to go around. There's 40 million shots, but you need 2, so 20 million people. There's way more first responders out there than that.
21. There's 21 million healthcare workers.
Right. exactly. And so so I guess that, you gotta get the people who are helping people first. Like when you're in the airplane, they say put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you start helping others. And I think that's kind of what the CDC was suggesting. We'll see what the state does, if they go along with it or not.
Mm-hmm. They've got to make up their mind. I understand by Friday they've got to submit their orders for the vaccine. So we'll check on that as well.
And then we got to figure out how to implement it, get them delivered, inoculate people. We got a lot of work to do here before the end of the year.
You betcha.
All right, Frank Beckman Show is next. Thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. You've been listening to the Paul W. Smith Show on this Wednesday, December 2nd. A sunny day. It's going to be about up to 40 degrees. Kind of nice if you can get out there and enjoy it. We will be back with you again tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Everybody have a safe and healthy Wednesday. Right now, let's check traffic and weather with Joe Clark.
This report is sponsored by Temporal Scanner. These may be uncertain.
All right, Kev.
All right, my friend. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Carolyn, thank you. Mark, Don, Mom, Suzanne, everybody. Dave, thanks.
You're welcome. We will talk later this afternoon.
We will talk soon. Yeah, well, send me what you got and what we need, and we will make it happen.
All right. Goodbye, Facebook. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks.